Spoken like
What is up, gamers? We're gonna be playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 4, Himatsubushi. We're continuing today. We only finished one chapter last time, and that was like over a month ago. But I feel like it's finally time to continue. Finally. We will finish this, I swear. Last I remember, we went into the kidnapping, is what we did. And we did the tips and junk, so that's fine. So we can just continue. Hopefully we can actually go to freaking Keiichi and the boys. Ah, more of this. I see. That's fine. Waking up in a cheap hotel in the city was by no means pleasant. I remembered even during the long camping trips we had during grade school. I wanted to get home quickly, counting out the days left on my fingers. Waking up this morning, I was somehow reminded of that. Was it a need to be with my wife when she gave birth? A particular type of homesickness? As a protective member of society, as a public servant bound to fulfill his duties, it was pathetic indeed. Hydrate? Already? Bro, I haven't even talked yet. Or, not even much. But I have a freaking pink lemonade. Thank you. It's really yummy too. This is finally a stream that isn't... Right, I know. I had to wake up real early for this. Those negative emotions faded as I downed my breakfast, which was surprisingly not half bad. The meeting with the informant that Oishi had provided would be tonight. Until then, I couldn't just be lazing around. The Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was protecting the dam's construction in various ways. Included in this was a strategy for improving public relations, which could be categorized into two major forms, combative and peaceful. In regards to the former, as an attempt to keep law enforcement in check, they appealed to the public's sympathy by highlighting the oppressive and inhumane tactics of the police and the brutality of the riot squads. The latter, peaceful route, stressed how precious the natural surroundings of Hinamizawa was, seeking people who would oppose the dam on environmental grounds. As a part of that, the village of Hinamizawa had invited celebrated zoologists and botanists, as well as environmental groups, to advertise the nature surrounding the town. Dude, I found, like, I think that's a horrible idea, actually. Because, you know, going super peaceful and then alternatively, at the same time, going super aggressive is honestly a horrible decision on their part. You can't do both. You have to do one or the other. According to the news, in recent years, there had been a group calling itself Hinamizawa Nature Watching, setting up free sightseeing tours. I would have liked to take advantage of the opportunity. When I called the village administrative offices, they responded that it was too late to put in an application for the tour, and they were still undecided as to when they'd be doing another one. Aw, what a shame. I see. So there's no applications for next time. Too bad. Are you a member of an environmental group? Or maybe somebody from a magazine? No, just here privately. Privately? Then you're a tourist. Something like that. It's my hobby to take pictures that display how wait. Wait. Oh, wait. Is that? This isn't. No, this is the detective. But he's also a photographer? Okay. I read in a magazine that there were some precious nature reserves here, so I was looking forward to it. I knew there was an article that had something written in it, but I hadn't actually read it. Was it this ad-libbed lie not going to work? However, contrary to my expectations, the person I was speaking to laughed happily. Wahahaha! Then come. The village is a little busy right now, but you're totally welcome here. Wahahaha! In that case, I'll graciously accept the offer. Thank you. How are you getting around? Car? If that's the case, could I ask for your license plate number? No, there's no ulterior motive behind that. There's that was probably related to the checkpoints they'd set up on the way to the village. If I didn't give my license plate number, I'd most likely be hindered in various ways. Thought about using the car I'd borrowed from the prefecture, but I was lost on whether it was okay to tell them that plate number. If the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was behind this incident, there's no guarantee that they wouldn't be able to find out who I was. I had to play it safe, so I elected to refrain from using the car. No, actually, I'm not using a car. Already lying twice to this guy. You know, it's gonna get found out. It's gonna get found out. If there's a bus or something, I'd prefer that. We do have a bus, actually. The route is going to be discontinued soon, though. You can take that. It departs from Okinomiya Station. Thank you very much. I'll look out for it. When will you be coming? Is it your first time in Inumizawa? If it is, you must be unsure about a lot of things. If you let me know, I can have somebody show you around. Oh, no, I couldn't ask that much of you. Don't worry about it. That's just a bit of PR we do to protect nature around the village. Judging by what I saw at the checkpoint, the villagers were at the very least wary of outsiders. That's why in order to move in and out of the village freely, I had to travel with somebody like Oishi or side with the dam protests. Having an interest in the natural environment surrounding the village tied to a peaceful type of PR that the village was using. I was a bit against having a watchdog attached to me, but that might actually work out in my favor. The entire village was fired up about the dam protests, so I might be lucky enough to hear some especially candid opinions from the residents. Given that, there's no real reason for me to refuse the offer. Is it really alright? If so, that'll really help. After that, I was shown the bus schedule and directed to which bus I could get on. Somebody would come and meet me at the bus stop in the village. After showing me around the spot I'd taken interest in, there's no doubt they'd bring me to somewhere like an anti-dam information center. Then, over a cup of tea, they'd try and indoctrinate me into accepting their principles and beliefs. Well, if that was their aim, there'd be a lot of freebies involved. The world is about give and take, after all. Couldn't be going in a suit. I pulled some plain clothes out of my travel case and changed into something more casual. After that, after calming down by watching some local television, I left the hotel and set out for Okinomiya Station. Aw, traveling! Wonderful! Wonderful vacation that we're gonna have. Surely nothing bad will happen. Haha. Broswood that I was told would soon be discontinued certainly didn't look that way. There was more than enough trips on the schedule, and the number of passengers was by no means sparse. It was the main link to Okinomiya and the only town in the area. Types of passengers that stood out were older folk who didn't look like they could drive, and housewives who didn't seem like they had a license. Okay. If the area was submerged at the bottom of a lake, it wouldn't matter if there was a bus route. That's why it was going to be discontinued, in the unnatural scheme of things. I got a glimpse of the government's intent in cutting off their means of transportation to bully the village into emptying out sooner. Jesus. Hold on, let me turn down the volume just a bit. I feel like it might be too loud. The freaking car noises, bro. Can't wait till a jump scare happens. It makes sense, according to the documents. Talks between the Ministry of Construction and the locals broke down quite early. The government decided from the start to take an aggressive stance on the matter. It was like the fairy tale with the north wind and the sun trying to get the traveler to remove his cloak. What? I don't know what that is. Even their bullying had meaning to it. The reason why the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance resisted so violently is because the government was doing unseemly things like that. I was somebody who lived in Tokyo, so for a village or two out in the boonies like this to be submerged didn't seem like a big deal. But I guess for somebody actually living there, it would be a vitally huge problem. Well, of course. This route would be discontinued on the XX of the XX. Thank you for your patronage up until this point. We look forward to your continued patronage on our other lines. XX Transportation. Gazing lazily at the notice of discontinued service posted inside the bus, I counted down the number of stops till the designated one. Along the way, we passed through a checkpoint before without stopping. They knew what time the bus was coming, so they had opened up the barricade ahead of time. From here on out was enemy territory. My palms had at some point become coated in a thin film of sweat. Now arriving at Ukita Waterworks. Now arriving at Ukita Waterworks. Are there any passengers disembarking? I hurriedly pressed at the stop request button as designated stop was announced. For none of the numerous passengers to be getting off there meant it was must be quite a remote place. In actuality, the stop I get off at was so abnormally run down that I could tell it was barely used. As soon as I stepped out, an intense atmosphere completely different from the interior of the bus assailed? Yeah, my body. Right now, Oishi or Motodai weren't beside me. That's right, at present I was alone in the middle of the enemy territory. My adversaries probably thought I was just an ordinary tourist. That was nothing more than a ruse. I like to say, my adversaries, the enemy. Like, come on. What the heck? But if by some mistake my true identity was to be exposed, it brought back the terrifying words I had heard at the prefectural office, that if somebody was attacked in Hinamizawa with a knife, there wouldn't be any evidence left behind. It didn't seem suspicious, did I? My clothing was currently casual. It was exactly the type of clothing that a city slicker that viewed the countryside as a wholesome getaway would wear. A camera and a knapsack. Inside were various things needed for hiking. It was still only June. Maybe it was unusual, but the sun was shining down like it was already in the middle of summer. Oh, no, that's not unusual at all. The fact that I didn't bring a hat must seem odd. No, it wasn't something to be that concerned about. It's alright, I was just a normal tourist. Just normal. Is there anything suspicious about me? Asking that as I turned around to look at the bus that was departing. All the passengers by the window were staring down at me silently. It's starting. The paranoia has begun. They were staring right at me, as if they had seen right through my proud little outfit. Just staring, looking down on me. Countless stares rained down like needles on me from the windows opened to air out the bus. All that rained down were stares. None of them were saying a word. But, all the more, the silent stares told me more than a million words could. Hurry up and go back to Tokyo, you outsider. No! No! There was no reason for me to speak. The quiet voice was drowned out by the sound of the engine. The bus, as if to torment me, set out slowly, and after doing more than enough to intimidate me, sped off. Dude, this guy is so paranoid at this point. He's getting intimidated by a bus. Like, come on. Thin film of sweat began to arise from my entire body. According to the documents, it was a village that seemed wary of outsiders. Its population was small as well. If they saw an unfamiliar face, they would be quick to identify that face as an outsider. Top of that, nobody else had gotten off at this stop. It was a bus stop that they normally just passed on by. Somebody actually getting off there was no doubt that had drawn some attention. But this wasn't a slip-up. They were the ones who directed me to get off at this stop. There was nothing to worry about. I knew that I was just nervous, since this was my first undercover assignment. My more seasoned colleagues referred to us as the new generation that didn't know how to lose their cool. But that wasn't true at all. Whew. In order to calm my breathing down, I exhaled the unpleasant air residing in the pit of my stomach. Couldn't help but pray that my apprehensions would disappear like white clouds of exhaust expelled from the bus. There was a small shed there to serve as shelter if it rained, and it was there I decided to wait. Inside the shed, one wall was plastered with posters advertising the dam opposition efforts. It was like the heartfelt screams of the villagers were recorded on that wall. Inside that shelter, I felt an inexplicable pressure. Inexplicable. It wasn't like I had any real relation to the dam project, but it made me feel hesitant about being inside there. That was just how filled with the force of denial that space was. Denial? I don't know about that. And inside that uneasy space was a girl. Inside that shed, covered in words written in broad brushstrokes, debrading the policies regarding the dam and calling for action, there was a girl sitting there with a drowsy gaze, as if half asleep. The two images clashed so much that I could only stand there dumbfounded for a moment, trapped with such an unsurreal environment. If I stepped inside, who knew what kind of oafish noises I would accidentally make? Couldn't be disturbing the girl's slumber like that. Having thought this, I gave up on entering the shed. He was just a sleeping kid, so why was I worked up about it? Finally, I realized. This girl, to us, as a married couple, was the very image of our ideal child. Okay, alright. Even after numerous examinations at the hospital, we didn't know for sure what our child's gender was. Whether we could tell if they were a boy or a girl was, in the end, dependent on whether or not we could get an image of their genitalia. There was, of course, no guarantee that it was a girl. But with things the way they were, the possibility was high. Even so, Yukie had been saying that the chances that it was a boy or a girl were even. And in my heart, I had already decided that our coming child was a girl. Yeah, I don't think that's very healthy of you to do, honestly. Since the day I decided that until now, it was so fun to imagine how our child would grow up that I couldn't help myself. Amongst those numerous imagined forms, the one that I thought to be the most ideal had materialized right in front of me. Of course, a little of it was due to the circumstances. In my ideal image, her hair would be on the short side. The girl in front of me, though, had long hair. It was almost as if somebody had taken my ideal and made some small adjustments. It certainly wasn't something unpleasant. Even so, I felt like I was sullying her just by looking at her like that. She had an immaculate, divine air about her. Who? The girl with the angelic smile, with a yawn wide enough you could see her molars, woke up all of a sudden. I didn't mean to peep. The locking eyes with the girl had just woken up like this somehow made me feel like I was playing a prank on her. I wasn't doing anything shady, but I became flustered. The girl spoke. No. Cried out? Rika! Rika! What a queen! Can I still do voices? I don't know. Meep. Meep? Like that character on the show with the puppets? With the orange hair? I thought it was just one of those greetings kids do. So in order to prove I wasn't a suspicious person, I responded in kind. Meep. Oh, what a guy. What a man. Meep? Meep. The girl stared at me dubiously with a doll-like expression. Cute, but cold and hard to read. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. There was, after all, an unfamiliar man right in front of her when she woke up, who responded with Meep when she said the same. Suspicious. She definitely thought I was suspicious. Meep. Meep. Oh my god. We were both at a loss for words. No, the only one lost was me. The girl in front of me, as if inquiring about my motives, stared at me intently. In this silence, I felt like I was the one who had to say something first. Damn it, this girl's way better at interrogating someone than Oishi. I'm not anyone suspicious. The perfect thing to say. I'm... Nipa! Oh, lordy, have mercy. Nipa! Nipa! What I could have only described as a cold expression suddenly blossomed into a smile, one that soon infected me. You might be familiar with the term angelic smile. To me, it was like that phrase was created just to describe the smile she gave me. The girl smiling while saying Nipa probably wanted me to return the favor in kind. That's right. This was a kid's form of communication. Having the other person emulate what you just did was a rudimentary form of mutual understanding. Nipa. Nipa. It was a beautiful afternoon in the early summer. What was I doing? Nipa. Nipa. Well, whatever. This was interesting in its own way. Making somebody happy with just a smile was the work of angels, and this girl was definitely one of them. I couldn't help but pray that my own child, who was soon to be born, would grow up to be like this girl. That strangely gentle moment was finally brought to an end by the arrival of a car. An older person waved at me from the driver's seat, a dry smile plastered on their face. Hi there, good afternoon. Sorry for being late. You're the tourist who phoned yesterday, right? Yes. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm running a little behind because of my farm. The farm, actually. Hop right on in. Looks like the weather isn't going to hold up for much longer, so I'll show you around real quick. It's gonna rain? Huh? Weather? Changes fast around here. There'll probably be evening showers again today. If that happens, you won't be able to take any pictures. Come on, get in, get in! Meep. Turning around, the girl was standing right behind me with an intrigued expression. Body language someone reminded me of a stray cat that followed you around if you played with it a little. So charming. Ooh, no oof. We're having very wholesome moments right now. No oof at all. Well, if it isn't Rika-chama. Praise me, praise me. Nipa. A girl named Rika with an immaculate smile and an old man praising her while rubbing prayer beads in his hands. It was a rather mysterious sight to behold. Who's speaking? Gosh dang it. Makino? Are you going to work, Makino? Not exactly work, per se. I was asked by the mayor to show around a youngin' who came to the village for some sightseeing. A youngin' who came to the village for sightseeing? The girl, Rika-chan, said that with a smile as she clung onto my arm. Dude, don't cling on to strangers' arms, Rika. Oh my god, how stupid can you be? Jesus. Well, yeah. I heard that this village is surrounded by a precious nature reserve, so I very much wanted to record that with my camera. Even though I look like this, I really like to take pictures. Tomitake MK2. Huh? Tomitake? Huh? Makino, is it okay if I come along too? I couldn't. You could come along, Rika-chama, but there's nothing interesting to see. You should go near the shrine or something. Go play near the shrine or something. Meep. A distinctly displeased expression creeped across Rika-chan's face. Being able to show one's emotion honestly on their face was a privilege young children had. If it's not too much of a problem, could you bring this child along with us? When I said those helpful words, another smile spread across Rika-chan's face with another Nipa as she clung to me again. Ah, not bad at all. Jesus Christ. I want this girl to call me Papa! God. Like, it's not creepy in context, but saying that without context is extremely creepy. No. Father. Dad. Dad. No. Stop. 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 Okay, it was bad. You just made it so much worse. Jesus Christ. What am I doing? I met this girl completely off my game. Just calm down. Nothing I can do, I guess. Rika-chama never listens when you say no. Come on, up on in. Come now, Rika-chama too. The old man descended from the driver's seat and opened up the sliding door of the van, which had Onigafuchi's Alliance Town Council stenciled on the side. Rika-chan brushed me aside, dove into his seat, and began bouncing around right away. It seemed like she was thoroughly enjoying the bouncy springs. Come on now, Rika-chama. If you're like that, our guest can't sit down. Hey, Rika-chama. Ah, girls are nice. Look. Can this guy write a character that's not creepy? Like an adult male that isn't creepy. Is that possible? I wonder if my child will play around like this too. No. It was written in the guide that raising a child, you shouldn't dote on them. Kids are kids if you don't raise them strictly without spoiling them.
It's soft and springy, Nipa.
Nipa. I'm definitely going to be a terrible father. It was decided I would be a doting parent before my child was even born. Well then, sir, I'll show you around some places that I think will look nice. Have you eaten lunch yet? Yeah, I had a light meal at the hotel. Is that so? Well then, let's get going.
We're setting off on a tour of Hinamizawa. Yay!
Is it alright if I call you Rika-chan?
Sure. My name is Rika Furude.
Furude.
I can already do addition in 10 digits.
I can already do addition in the 10 digits. Oh, is that true? That's amazing. Oh my god.
I don't count on my fingers. I can do it all in my head.
The way she insisted upon that was just too cute. At some point, the nervousness I had about being alone in enemy territory had evaporated like he was never there at all. I had to be at least a little thankful that I met this girl. Well then, let's get going. It's time for Hinamizawa nature watching. The old man stepped on the gas with a great deal of gusto. Yay! Hinamizawa nature watching! Let's go! Surely we will see nothing bad, ever! This is so wholesome! Oh my god. Also, this is a new song, isn't it? I don't remember ever hearing this. I find it interesting that there's no dialogue during this. Because usually with stuff like this, they freaking hammer in dialogue, describing every little thing, you know? So maybe it's odd, or even a little creepy, that there's no dialogue. Hey. Dude. What? Okay. Alright. What is happening? Alright. I can't get over Rika just appearing and smiling and then going away. The old man, who was apparently named Makino. Was he the same Makino that was listed on the auditor of the Onikafushi Defense Alliance? Showed me around places that were all breathtaking. Even though I wasn't really here for sightseeing, I couldn't help but be impressed. First of all, this was different from the simple scenery of a city. The scenery of a charming village like this, no matter how mundane it seemed to be to the villagers, had a tranquil appeal to it. At first, I was only releasing the shutter as part of my tourist act. Midway through, I found myself taking pictures out of pure interest. The tourist traps have their own unique allure to them. There's nothing like that here. I was especially captivated by the unspoiled nature of the place. There wasn't that whole uproar of, damn, I would want to bring Yukie here with me over some other time. I wanted her to breathe the fresh air, as well as show her this rejuvenating bird and scenery.
Is something like this that interesting? You're a strange person, Akasaka.
No, these cylindrical mailboxes are rare nowadays. They have a certain nostalgic air about them. You wouldn't happen to think they're elegant, would you?
Is Hinamizawa fun?
Yeah, it's fun. When she's discharged from the hospital, I'd like to bring my wife here at least once. The child that we were born at that time. Right now she's in the hospital waiting to give birth. She's due any day now. It'd be nice if they're a cute little girl like you.
Sir, it seems like your congratulations are soon to be in order. Still, that's not good. To leave your wife behind and play around in a place like this?
Oh, don't. I was momentarily at a loss for words. Exactly how Makino said. There was no good reason for a man who was waiting for his wife to give birth to be playing around idly in this place. Did I slip up? Well, we had already planned this trip to Himazawa a long time ago. My wife's family is with her, so it's alright.
If you have this planned so far in advance, then how come you didn't make the sign-up deadline for nature watching?
Oh, dude. Rika.
If you did, you could have toured around on a nice bus instead of being cramped up in here.
It didn't seem as if Makino was actually digging for anything, but if this conversation continued any longer, it would put up some unexpected holes in my cover. I halted the conversation by pretending to take another picture. She could see right through that. Well then, for our last stop, I'll take you to a place with the best view. It was slightly before evening, the sun was still burning brightly, but a cool breeze had begun to mix itself into the air. It seemed my exploration of Himazawa with Rika-chan was just about done.
The place with the best view?
Well, Rika-chan, where else could it be but the view from around the shrine? Hearing that, Rika-chan smiled even more.
Well then, I'll introduce you to my home, Akasaka.
Huh? Rika-chan's home, you mean... Huh?
The shrine. Furude Shrine. There's an observation platform. You can see some real pretty scenery.
Furude Shrine. The girl who called Furude Shrine her home, Rika. If I remember correctly, her full name was Rika Furude. Yes, she did say that. And Furude was... That's right. One of the three families. Even if the Sumisaki family has said to hold all the actual power, it was still one of the old houses that held some authority. No. More important than that right now was Furude Shrine. If I remembered correctly, or she had told me, in the grounds of Furude Shrine, there were the offices of the Onigavashi Defense Alliance. Since the land around Furude Shrine were private property, the police couldn't set foot there heedlessly. Furude Shrine, where even Oishi simply couldn't set foot into. The main base of operations for Onigavashi Defense Alliance. I had been given some unexpected opportunity to enter there. Couldn't have asked for more. I'm looking forward to it. Please, if you would.
Well then, let's get there quick. The weather seems to be getting a little iffy.
The sky had suddenly become overcast. Wouldn't it be odd if it started raining soon? And you know what rain means? Spooky. Cicadas, as if trying to finish their daily allotment of chirps before the evening, cried out even more fervently. I am extremely suspicious. The van stopped in the shrine's parking lot. Also parked there were numerous other vans with loudspeakers mounted on the top of them to act as makeshift propaganda vehicles. On the side of each vehicle was scrawled, "The dam project must be demolished. Defend our homeland to the last. No Yashio-sama's anger," or a slogan of similar kind. It gave the feeling that even without using loudspeakers, there would be enough to overwhelm any onlookers. Vertical banners were erected in various places. The contents of those banners were similar. They were all objections against the dam or crude insults toward the government. There were horizontal banners, placards, and so on and so forth. They proclaimed that without a doubt this was the headquarters of the Onigavashi Defense Alliance. For Rika-chan, however, this hectic place was also her home.
We've arrived. I'm home.
Rika-chan crawled over my lap and exited the vehicle first. Makino hadn't noticed that I was looking at the protest banners. The shrine also has the offices of the anti-dam movement. For you, this probably brings back memories of the anti-security treaty conflicts back in the day. Student movements against government policies, movements that bordered on terrorist activity, were at one time commonplace, if only in order to garner global attention. Students holding out in lecture halls, brawling with the riot squads that charged in. It was an age where wasting one's youth like that was widely considered a road to glory. It was slightly before my time. I'm not really an activist or anything. I just studied without incident and graduated without incident. I don't really agree with the violence or occupations they use to protest the government's policies. Oh? You shouldn't say that. You should have just agreed. You have quite a nice opinion there. It would be a shame if something happened to it. If you have an opinion on a policy, vote for a candidate who shares your view, or enter the political world for yourself and assert your beliefs in a lawful manner. That's the foundation of democracy. I don't think that's something you should challenge with violence. For a youngin', you have some fine beliefs. I saw that feeling of respect reflected in Makino's gaze. Oh, really? At that moment, something tugged at my sleeve.
I have no idea what Akasaka is saying.
Rika-chan, feeling that she was the only one who didn't understand the conversation, had a look of displeasure on her face. The expression was so charming, I had to keep myself from grinning like an idiot. It's often said that a father wants to spoil his daughter rotten. I understood that feeling very well. Sorry. It was a little bit hard for Rika-chan to understand, wasn't it? This child doesn't understand politics! Point and laugh. Oh. Japan is a peaceful country, so you don't have to argue your point in a peaceful manner. So you have to argue your point in a peaceful manner. Shouldn't resort to violence, in other words. No matter how much I explained, a girl who was boasting about being able to carry digits over when adding things probably wouldn't understand. Probably wasn't something to talk about in front of Rika-chan anyway.
So then, Akasaka, how do you think we should keep our village from being flooded by the dam?
Oh, Rika, asking the real questions. Even if I regretted my careless words, it was too late now. Here I was, at the main headquarters of the organization, telling them their way of doing things was illegal. Preaching that violence was not the answer. Complicated feeling had mixed itself in with the respect in Makino's gaze. It was then I finally realized. It wasn't that simple. There wasn't a soul who would argue that what I was saying wasn't correct. Using violence to get one's way was something that everybody knew you shouldn't be proud of. However, right now, Hinamizawa was in a predicament that couldn't be overcome with peaceful means alone. The legality of the Hinamizawa Dam project, though the efforts of various propaganda campaigns erected with the Onagabashi Defense Alliance, was being called into question. If they further strengthened their campaign, they might be able to suspend the charge of suspend or change the construction plans. But that was just at the most just a possibility, Jesus. If the government proceeded with the construction as planned, it wouldn't take long before this place was at the bottom of a lake. If it wasn't for the unrestrained resistance of the residents of Hinamizawa, this place might already have been underwater.
We can't live anywhere else other than here. We can't live in the city.
The words of this remarkably young girl were all too accurate, carrying with them screams of the hearts and minds of the residents of Hinamizawa. Of course, there's nothing I could say to respond to that. I could only respond to Makino and the Rika-chan's heavy words with silence. I'm sorry. This isn't a problem that an outsider should lightly poke their nose into, is it? I apologize. Makino, unsure of how to reply for a while, could only laugh pointlessly. It's nothing that concerns guests that make their home somewhere else. If you enjoyed here, please tell all your friends that Hinamizawa is a wonderful place. Please. Word spreads to dozens, maybe even hundreds of people. Then that ridiculous plan to submerge this place at the foot of a dam will eventually fall apart. Follow that with a smile that said, please don't think much of it. Makino letting me not worry that much was really a stroke of good fortune. Becoming infatuated with the idea of making friends with a little girl had made me completely forget the apprehension of being in enemy territory. Being reminded of this right before I was going to step foot into their headquarters might have been a good thing. If we had this exchange in the middle of their office, there was a short-tempered youth in there, they might have come at me. Thinking of how extreme they were, in the worst case, my life could have been in danger. It seemed that I looked quite despondent at that moment. Makino, thinking he had said something wrong, became flustered, trying to think of a way to improve my mood. I was a bit careless just now. I'm very sorry. No, don't worry that much about it. The sights you showed me around the village were all beautiful, wonderful places. I really do want to come here one more time. If this beautiful village is going to be submerged at the bottom of a lake, I can understand why you would fight so desperately. I had somehow managed to use my despondent look to change the topic in my favor. After a bit, Makino had returned to his usually high spirits. It seemed he believed I completely sympathized with his point of view. Now, let's leave the talk at that for now. There's a place around here with a really great view.
Let's go, Akasaka.
Rika-chan, seemingly happy to be free from all the boring and gloomy adult talk, bounded up the stone steps. There's no real need to run, but in order to catch up with her, I also darted up the steps. There were several tents belonging to the town council erected on the shrine grounds. Beside the tents were several folding tables and chairs, and a number of the older town council members were livening things up with chit-chat. They weren't saying anything indecently. Incendiary. I've never seen that word before. Like, the Dan Project must be destroyed. It was just some relaxed, idle chat between local geezers. An almost sort of calming scenery. At the entrance of the shed that looked like a meeting place, there was a large sign erected with Onigafuchi Defense Alliance Headquarters, written in bold brushstrokes. That was their base of operations. To be honest, it was a bit of a letdown. Guess what I had been imagining? This is a bit embarrassing, but I thought it would be something much more dramatic. With barbed wire fences and barricades. My first impression of the place, though, was completely different from that. It looked like a simple backwater town hall. It didn't look like anything other than that. The older folks who were chatting had noticed Rika-chan's presence.
Well, if it is Rika-pajama!
Yeah. Well, if it isn't Rika-jama, it's time for little kids head on home.
This is my home.
The old folks squaffed, since she wasn't wrong. In exchange, I could tell this Rika Furude girl was loved by everybody. Makino-san, who was that? The tourist who phoned? That's right. This is the mayor of Hinamizawa, Mayor Kimiyoshi. He smiled brightly, but there was no mistaking he would be scary if he got angry. By the looks of things, this old man was president of the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance, none other than Kiichiro Kimiyoshi himself. Welcome to Hinamizawa. What do you think? It's a quiet and relaxing place, isn't it? Yeah! I was able to appreciate a multitude of beautiful places throughout the whole day. I'm thankful for being granted this rare opportunity. Even though you're one of those youngins? Quite the gentleman.
Kiichiro, I want to show Akasaka a cool place.
Thinking of the formalities between myself and the mayor had gone on for too long, Rika-chan butted into the conversation. For her to call the mayor by his first name? Like it was a little strange, but none of the villagers seemed to mind. A girl of the Furude household, one of the three families, she was probably different from the average villager.
Akasaka, over here.
Rika-chan tugged at my sleeve. Not resisting, I allowed myself to be pulled over. Waiting for me was a magnificent view. Yay! Wow, look at all those teeny houses. This is amazing. There was an observation deck that looked down on the village. They, knowing that this was the best view in the entire village, kept quiet as I stood there awestruck. Something a camera, but I'd completely forgotten to even glance at the viewfinder. The view, no matter what kind of film it was printed on, they wouldn't be able to show everything. If there was a way to explain it, it would only be what I would be able to put into words. It was just a breathtakingly spectacular view that I struggled to find in comparison. For a while, I was left awestruck, and only stand there and wonder. A cool breeze helped abate the heat rushing through my body. That comfortable sensation also left me speechless. Rika-chan, who had been holding onto my sleeve the entire time, spoke.
This is my favorite spot.
As she said that, she showed me another adorable smile. That smile seemed very fleeting. If you ask why, it was because the view from her favorite spot would eventually be submerged under the deep green waters of the dam reservoir. I just can't believe that this village is going to end up at the bottom of the lake. Don't say that! God! I said it quietly so that only Rika-chan could hear it. I regretted it as soon as I did. Yeah. For those words were all too cruel. However, Rika-chan didn't let them cast a cloud on her expression. In fact, she replied with a smile.
You won't sink. The dam project will definitely go away.
It was just like a little girl to say something like that. There was no basis for her saying so. It was just her wish. Are you sure? Or do you think she actually knows? Right. Right, exactly.
The dam project won't go away.
No, it will go away. Yeah.
Akasaka, do you think that this village will be submerged?
It's not like I want it to be. I knew how important the dam was. I knew that it was necessary. I just didn't want to recognize the sacrifices that would be made. It's not necessary if so many people die, you know? I agree with the project in general, but couldn't agree with some of the details. What if it meant that this girl's beloved scenery wouldn't be taken away from her? Might be able to object it to the dam. Dude, they're indoctrinating him successfully. Oh my god. Might be able to ignore the interests of the nation, the development of Japan, all for the sake of one girl's smile. Not really much of a humanist, but getting radicalized by a lolly. That's literally what's happening, though. How sentimental of me.
It won't be submerged, because the dam project will soon go away.
The words weren't just hopes and dreams, but were seasoned with a hint of resolve. As if she was talking about an unchangeably predetermined outcome. As surely as the sun rising in the east. It'll be gone soon? Waiting to ask her why she believed that, I turned around.
Yes, it'll be gone.
What makes you say that?
Well, you see...
She seemed to want to answer, but as though unable to find the right words, swallowed back what she was about to say.
Regardless of what Akasaka does, the dam project will end this year. It's already been decided.
By who? That was a lie? If something like that had already been decided, then Onikafushi Defense Alliance would have no reason to continue existing. From my point of view, it was like they were doing nothing more than throwing themselves into an endless battle. If they knew the dam project was cancelled, I'd feel much more relaxed around here. This village, though, could hardly be relaxed. Hey, Hex, what's going on, homie? For evidence of that, I just had to remember how charged the atmosphere was at the checkpoint or about the bus stop. Villagers, with their misplaced resolve, were still fighting. And this girl, even knowing the villagers' grim resolve, had already declared their victory. The villagers throwing themselves into an endless war, and this optimistic girl who said they already won. That contrast was somehow strange. Why do you think that? If you know something that makes you so confident, could you tell me? Rika-chan stayed silent for a while, seemingly choosing what to say.
Because...
Because? She looked like she was lost on whether she should continue or not. As if she was troubled on whether it was okay for her to say it, that kind of expression.
It's already been decided. There's no other way to say it.
It's already been decided, huh? It really is just like a little girl to say something like that. Couldn't believe it was actually true. Huh? She was the only one saying such things with such confidence. My real mission that I had forgotten about during this fun-filled day resurfaced on the back of my mind. The kidnapping of the minister's grandson. Had the Onikashi Defense Alliance kidnapped the minister's grandson and already succeeded in negotiating the cancellation of the dam project? Did Kimiyoshi actually already know and was just playing dumb? What was that? Was that what this girl was really telling me?
Akasaka?
The girl called out my name suddenly. What is it? Oh no. No! It's begun! No.
Go back to Tokyo.
Oh, Rico, what do you mean? I'm having a good time here. I know what you are. Oh god. Huh? I was only surprised at the sudden command. Ever since I came to this village, I had never once mentioned I was from Tokyo. Well, based on my accent, she might have been able to guess where I was from. What was I getting so worked up over? It was probably the sudden and complete change in her demeanor.
You should definitely go back to Tokyo right away. If not, you will woefully regret it.
The girl had been holding my sleeve the entire time. She'd been tugging at my sleeve since hurriedly dragging me over to show me this wonderful view. But this was the adorable Rika-chan who I'd spent the entire day with. There was no way she could have been replaced with a doppelganger when I wasn't looking. She'd been holding onto my sleeve the entire time. Somehow, this girl was someone other than Rika-chan. She looked like Rika-chan, but she wasn't. She was some other girl I'd never met before. The girl had told me in a different voice that I would eventually regret coming to this village from the bottom of my heart. That would be an... Wait, is she saying that?
That would be an incredibly pathetic thing to say. So I thought I'd warn you right now.
Pathetic? I don't know if I would... Okay. Why would I come to regret this?
Stop whining.
Whining? What? I'm asking questions. I couldn't believe it. I was hearing such cold words coming from Rika-chan's mouth. I just couldn't believe it. Was somebody impersonating her? Using ventriloquism or something? Thinking that, I wanted to take a look around, but the girl's gaze had me pinned down, making me unable to move.
When you tried crossing the road when the don't walk sign was up, did your parents finish explaining why it was dangerous before pulling you back to the sidewalk? They'd pull you back right away, wouldn't they? They'd pull you back before explaining why it was dangerous, wouldn't they? In other words, something like that.
The girl I'd spent time with, Rika today, would not speak like that. She'd speak with a cuteness befitting of her age, with brief childish remarks, expressing her emotions honestly. She definitely wouldn't speak with such pointed words.
I've warned you. Don't get the wrong idea. It's not like I'm saying this because I hate you. You don't need to tell somebody who's better off dead that they're in danger.
What? Jesus. Who are you? You're not Rika-chan. As soon as I accused her of not being Rika-chan, she let out a strange, quiet giggle. It was a laugh not befitting of a child her age. It's like she was possessed by something. Her change was just that total and complete. Was Rika-chan being attacked with some terrifying phenomenon? That occult idea came to mind without any sort of hesitation. Rika-chan is acting strange. Somebody, help! Thinking that I'd yelled at, I turned to where the mayor was. I was immediately realized he was looking at us with a smile. That's right, to him it looked like nothing more than me and Rika-chan fooling around. I noticed that there was something terrifying happening to her.
Akasaka is such a coward.
I can't laugh in that voice. The girl had obviously grasped that I was afraid. Noticing that and calling me a coward, she laughed again. That cackling girl approaching me in such a strange manner while still laughing, lost her balance and fell flat on her face. Rika-chan fell down. If it was just a while before, I would have extended a hand to help her up without hesitation. But now, extending a hand to this ominous girl who looked like Rika-chan but wasn't, required more courage than I had at the moment.
Meep.
She fell off the cliff and died. Now that would be a strange end, wouldn't it be? The girl cried out thus. She then squirmed upright and dusted herself off. Afterwards, she looked around restlessly as a blank expression crept across her face. You gotta be kidding me. Was she making fun of me? The way of acting. It was as though, after being possessed by something, she had lost her memories of what happened. Huh? You're joking, right? Rika-chan?
Meep.
I don't know if Rika-chan had heard me or not. She just cried out like that, as if questioning herself.
Hey, mister.
Oh, hey mister, Rika-chan too. Tea's ready. Some snacks too, so please come and have some. Oh, an old lady wearing a smock was waving energetically from the entrance of the office. Even though there were snacks, Rika-chan's expression changed.
Yay!
A carefree smile. A familiar smile, the one that belonged to the embodiment of my ideal daughter. Any hint of a creepy girl that was just there, spouting sinister words, had vanished. Come on, Rika-chan!
Wash your hands first.
There aren't any
manju here for dirty hands.
I'll wash them real good. Oh, no.
I'll wash them real good. Meep.
Rika-chan responded with vigor, running off to this washing station that was along the side of the office. She stopped halfway, turning around to call me.
You're a dead man.
uh,
Akasaka doesn't hurry up. I'll eat his share of manju too. They're steaming fresh.
yeah.
People who don't wash their hands aren't allowed to eat any manju.
No matter how you looked at it, that was Rika-chan. Those words and the way she said them, no matter how you heard them, they were definitely Rika-chan's.
Come on now, mister. You're the adult here, so show her how it's done.
The old lady urged me to wash my hands. Without any resistance, I lined up beside Rika-chan at the wash station. Splish splash.
Splish splash.
Stared at Rika-chan, intent on washing her hands properly like she had probably learned at school.
Meep? Did I do something wrong?
Huh? Why, wrong? Do you mean...
I'm washing my hands? I only got 4 gold stickers for it. I'm probably bad at washing my hands.
You're not doing anything wrong. If you're washing them that carefully, that's more than enough.
But it's not, Akasaka. If you don't use a brush and clean out all the dirt underneath your fingernails, you won't get a gold sticker.
Is this some analogy that she's using? I know she likes those. Rika-chan, you're very diligent. That's something to be proud of.
Nipa, I was praised by Akasaka.
No matter how you look at it, it was Rika-chan. There was no trace of the girl from before. Exactly what was that sinister girl? Rika-chan, what was the meaning of what just happened now? Don't ask about it. Just accept it and move on. Dots. Just now, you told me to go back to Tokyo, didn't you? Don't bring it up! Oh my god, the worst possible decision.
Did I say that?
I was at a loss for words. She didn't remember what the girl just now had said. Like I would ever believe something as a cult like that could happen. Like I would ever believe that Rika-chan could be possessed by that strange girl and say those creepy things. Rika-chan, you definitely said that.
Meep.
Her expression told me that. Despite my saying so, she had no idea. She wasn't playing dumb, she actually didn't know exactly what that was just now. Just as Rika-chan had, I had a look of confusion creep across my face. Two of us, both looking like we had no idea what was going on, would have certainly been a humorous sight to behold. While partaking of teen snacks, I was shown a propaganda film. I was shown a propaganda film shot by the Defense Alliance that highlighted their resistance efforts. Older folks talked passionately on how long and grueling the fight against the dam was, but they fell on deaf ears. I was transfixed by Rika-chan, who had heard of these stories countless times before and was nodding off. Eventually, Rika-chan noticed I was staring at her and smiled as she rubbed her eyes. That smile was Rika-chan's after all. There was no hint of that sinister shadow. After that, my unreasonable fear of Rika-chan lessened with the passing of time, but I could by no means forget what had happened. It eventually grew dark. The mayor had said that they prepared dinner, but I said I would come again tomorrow and took my leave. I had to return to my hotel and file my regular report with the section chief. I see. Well then, please come again tomorrow. If you phone, we'll send someone to pick you up right away. I appreciate your hospitality. I'll probably come again and enjoy myself tomorrow. Yes, please do. Seems that Rika-chan has taken a pretty big liking to you.
Akasaka, are you coming again tomorrow? I finish after 5th period, so if you could come around 3 o'clock, that would make me happy.
Please come again. A pure smile urged me to do so. There wasn't a trace of that evil aura. Depending on what happened next, all of them might end up as nothing other than my hallucination. Thinking about it logically, if the daughter of the Furude household, one of the 3 families, taken a liking to me, this was a strong foothold for my investigation from here on out. It's like a free ticket for a reason to visit Hinamizawa. If only I could treat that little incident as a figment of my imagination, and having a girl who was the embodiment of my ideal daughter grow so attached to me wasn't so bad either. I successfully dove into the belly of Onagafushi Defense Alliance, had the mayor as well as the other important members of the alliance welcome me with open arms. It was a great turn of events. However, I still feel uneasy. Getting back to the hotel, I forced down an almost painfully cold beer so I could unclear my mind. The shock from the incomprehensibly strange incident continued to torment me. Is that the end of the chapter? Or are we continuing? Yay! Tips! Yay! Going smoothly. Why I like rainy days. Barley tea. All very wholesome and nothing creepy at all. Right? Oh my god! Mion! Mion! Oh my god! Oh, I missed her. The chick in the trunk. That's still so funny. Going smoothly. Why I like rainy days. Okay. Going smoothly. The sound of the car grew closer, followed by the sound of it braking as the engines cut out. At that moment, his up until now lackadaisical footsteps grew decisive as the man in the room dashed up to the wall beside the window and carefully peered outside. It was his comrade's car. Even so, he didn't relax his guard. Eventually, the sound of footsteps approached the door. Thump. Thump, 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 thump. It was the passcode. I'm back. Open the door already. Ah, you must be tired. I'm opening it now. The locks were undone, the door opened. The man appeared, his arms laden with swollen plastic grocery bags. The bags in his hands had Sevens Mart written on them, with bread and milk cartons able to be glimpsed within. The contents of those bags had been spread out over a sheet across the floor. I brought some cup noodles, so go boil some water. I bought some cup noodles. What's the kid doing? Huh? He's been sleeping the entire time. Thank God he's not causing any trouble. What is... Oh, okay. I get it. This is the kidnapping people, and the kid is sleeping. Okay. Got it. He did struggle a bit when he was about to shit himself. Don't let him crap his pants. It'd suck if he started smelling like an outhouse in here. Yeah, I know. Check the gag every now and then. We don't want to get loose, so keep it tight. But not too tight that it keeps breaking. That he stops breathing. God. I said, I know. Huh? Did I ask you to pick up another can of gas for the portable stove? We're out. Never asked, you idiot. Yeah, seriously? Come on, work. Damn it! Rattled the portable stove as he struggled to get it to light. Seeing that, the man who went to buy the supplies let out a deep sigh. With a backwards glance on that sight, began to walk to the corner of the room. The kidnapped boy was sprawled out on a sheet that was spread out on the floor. Boy, you doing okay? Of course, the old man didn't assume the kid was able to hear that question. It's because the boy's ears were plugged. His eyes and ears were thoroughly covered by packing tape. Also, his mouth was gagged with a thin, twisted-up towel. Because of that, the boy was unable to close his mouth properly, his cheeks sticky with his own saliva. Ew! Of course, that wasn't the only reason. Both of his arms were tied tightly behind his back with a leather belt. Dude, he is sufficiently tied up. Sufficiently. Jesus Christ. Seem to be doing okay. Dude, he's just sitting there, breathing. If that's doing okay, then I guess he's doing okay. Jesus Christ. At least you're not gonna die. Your grandpa wanted to play tough and might have had to lop an ear off. Be great if we don't have to. The main family says we do, though? Tough luck. Can't even imagine what kind of cool things they'd have us do. Family said not to scratch him, though. Not one scratch on him, though. So it seemed to be going well for the time being. Minister is discreetly withdrawing the dam project. Meeting with Dan is indefinitely postponed. They did it! They actually did it! Wow. It worked. Wait, we already know this, though. That it worked, right? I wonder why we're letting the boy go. I just want to be done with this already. Main family seems to be gauging the timing. Don't know when it'll be, but it'll probably be soon. Isn't that great, kid? You'll probably be let go real soon. Men didn't know if their voices were heard by the boy. For him, there was nothing he could do but continue to sleep to escape his harsh reality. More importantly, what are we gonna do about that gas? Can't eat the cup of noodles raw. We're out of gas. Say something. Jeez. So true. Man, that sucks for that kid, though. He seems to be in a horrible situation. Jesus Christ. Why I like rainy days. The weather forecaster predicted it wouldn't rain at all this entire week. It's not like I hate sunny days or anything. But every day is the same, unchanging, sunny weather, however. Anybody would long for a rain cloud or two. That's exactly how I feel. Oh my god. Being in Texas, all you get is sun. I pray every day that it will rain. If it's simply clear skies for a week, a month, a year, anybody would long for a rain cloud or two. The weather specialist said that they had carefully scrutinized a large quantity of past data, so it wouldn't be so likely for the forecast to be wrong. I knew as much. But even then, there was occasionally a day where I was hoping it could be wrong as I stared up into the clear blue sky. Was I being mischievous and hoping so? I waited and waited, feeling almost suffocated by the boring blue sky undisturbed by a single cloud. If you could die from that suffocating feeling, then the population of Earth probably wouldn't have increased at this point. Light rain is nice too. Dude, all rain is nice. I would give anything for it to light rain, for it to storm. I love storms. Not when it's lightning though. Lightning scares me. But storms are great. In other words, the only person who was being suffocated by this was me. And so, I welcome the summer evenings, where not even the weather forecast could predict a sudden shower. If I were to explain it like this, would you understand a bit more how I feel? Who is I? Who is this? Let's say that tonight's dinner was going to be curry rice. But when you're called down to the dinner table, what was waiting for you was instead eggplant and bell pepper stir fry. This is just on your mother's whim, by the way. I would be delighted by such a whimsy. I don't really like eggplants or bell peppers, but still, I would be delighted. The fact that the pre-established routine of curry rice had been broken would be amusing. If tonight was repeated 100 times, and 100 times you had to eat curry rice, yet just for this one night I was changed to eggplant and bell pepper stir fry, there's no way you wouldn't enjoy that chance happening. I hate pre-established routines. Is this Keiichi? I don't think it is. But this kitchen is Keiichi's, if I remember correctly. Or Satoko, or I don't know. I really hate when things are all decided beforehand. I have no love for boredom. I always get my hopes up that something today will be different from yesterday, no matter how trivial. It's been decided this entire week starting today was going to be clear skies. The weather forecast decided upon it, so the god of weather must also feel obliged to do so. But who's to say that the rain cloud might not just show up for a day on a whim? Something that nobody can say for sure, but because that thought remains in this world, creatures such as myself continue living without being suffocated. Tomorrow Okay, I thought that was just me, but it's actually incorrect. Tomorrow will probably a hot and clear day. However, I'm the only one that knows that predetermined fate, even with a slim 1% chance, sometimes changes. Hoping for that 1%, I hung upside down weather charms on the sunlit yeah. In the end, I spent my days waiting for those unexpected things in life to happen. I pondered why I was hoping for it. Why was I hoping for a rain cloud? The answer was simple. I had my fill of clear skies. And why was I hoping for a rain cloud? The answer was simple. The fact that it was going to be sunny tomorrow was boring. So why was I hoping for a rain cloud? In the end, it doesn't really matter whether it rains or shines tomorrow. Basically, just that the rain would water my heart, which was withered from boredom. That's why I'd rather than a TV drama where the plot's already been decided, prefer to look up at the sky. Who was that? Who? What is everyone's theories on who that was? I have no idea. I'm betting Rika, Keiichi, Satsuko. Most likely Rika or Keiichi. It was, shut up. No, it wasn't. You're a liar. You're a heckin' liar is what you are. And now we get to look at Coach and Mion after so long. I'm so glad to see them. Barley tea and a black tea and a milestone. I hacked you. No. Lies. Illegal. Hydrate. God bless. Perfect time for a hydrate, honestly. Thank you. I might finish this off. The detective has been visiting Hinamizawa. Yay, fun times. That's it. That's all that's happened. Your blood pressure has improved. I forgot how I did his voice. It's been too long. For you to recover this quickly at your age, I'm rather impressed. This rate, you'll still be kicking after a couple hundred more years, Ordio-san. The young doctor in his medical coat said that as he undid the blood pressure cuff from the arm of an old woman tucked away in her futon.
You're a very good physician, Dr. Irie. If a persistent old fart like me doesn't hurry up and die, I'll just be in the way of you young folk.
Ho 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 ho. The old lady, Ordio, laughed faintly with a broad smile on her face. Then, turning toward the sliding door, she called out in a strong voice. Ordio is Mion's grandmother. Yes.
Is Shimiko-san or Takeo-san there? Bring some tea for Dr. Irie.
Sound of rushed footsteps from the hallway drew closer until finally a door slid smoothly open. Grand Mion! Yeah. What it was revealed was a young girl. It looked like the young old lady's granddaughter. Shimiko-san already left for the day. Do you need something?
Mion, make some barley tea for Dr. Irie.
Okay, got it. Did you want some too, Granny? Or would black tea be better? Want lots of milk and sugar?
I'll measure it out for myself so you don't have to put any in. Just bring out the sugar jar and some milk when you bring back the tea.
KK! Girl named Mion, after giving a rather uninterested response to her taskmaster of a grandmother, returned to the hallway.
Pour the doctor's tea in the cups for the guests. And make sure you bring a coaster, too. Also, make sure to dry out the outside of a glass, okay?
Dude, what is that voice turning into? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're such a fussy pants. Tired voice wafted a reply from down the hall. The apathetic tone of the voice was far from unusual. The old lady let a wry smile slip across her face as she chided the girl.
Geez, that girl just won't learn. Nothing I ever scold her about sticks.
Now, Oryo-san, you don't have to say that. Mion-chan is doing her best in her own way, even though she's so young. Her mother was the same way. Couldn't teach her anything. The apple doesn't far fall from the tree. So her mother's mother must just be exactly the same, no? The old lady burst out laughing. Expression showed she hadn't taken the comment the wrong way.
Dr. Irie, I'm sorry, but can you open the doors for me? Seems like there's a nice cool breeze outside.
Cool chirping of the Higurashi at some point started leaking through the gap in the doorway. Irie stood up and opened the door a bit. A refreshing breeze pushed out the stale air that had built up in the room. It's gotten fairly hot during the day, but the evenings are still rather cool, aren't they? It was almost downright chilly last night.
Yeah, those types of mornings and evenings are another one of Hinamizawa's fighting points.
Irie replied with a smile as he returned to sit on the cushion beside the old lady. Then the two of them, for a little while, soaked in the voices of the Higurashi. Wholesome!
I'm gonna try and live to 100. Till the business with the dam is proper finished, I ain't kicking the bucket just yet.
To get the government to withdraw a decision they've already made is a fairly difficult thing to do.
The way this country does things is like a turning a milestone.
Millstone.
A heavy one at that.
A millstone?
Don't you know? A millstone.
I have no idea. Irie quickly affirmed that of course he knew what the old lady was talking about, for he knew full well that Odio didn't like having her stories interrupted.
The millstone, you see, can grind anything to a pulp. It's rather impressive, but you see, it doesn't turn that easy because it's a rather heavy millstone.
Millstone. Oh, Jesus.
Lots of people have to work in unison to get it to even budge. It's that type of millstone. Ide pursed his lips, listening quietly to what she was saying. Eventually, Mion returned for some tea laid out on the tray. Seeing that Odio was talking in a good mood, she quietly knelt down and laid out the seeds for the barley and black tea, careful not to interrupt. That's why, when it gets going, it's not that easy to stop. It takes the most effort to move it right before it starts turning. Everybody hates that, so everybody keeps pushing it along without rest. You're talking about friction, right? I get what you're saying. So in other words, if there's some sort of mistake and the millstone suddenly stops turning, to get it turning again makes a great deal of power, more or less. Certainly, to get a project that's suspended to get going again takes quite a lot of effort. It's a millstone that isn't easily stopped. But once it's stopped, it'll never turn again. It's that kind of millstone. It'd be nice if there was some way to get that millstone to stop, wouldn't it? Then Avery responded with that, and Mion and the old lady suddenly sunk into silence. Idiot, instinctively thinking he had said something rude, searched for a small panic for the words to correct himself. And that silence wasn't the result of rude words. What crept across Mion and the old lady's faces were contemptuous smiles. They already know. The atmosphere surrounding Idiot suddenly froze, leaving him flabbergasted. Thinking that the scornful smile was creeping across both their faces was the result of some mistake of his, he could only grow afraid. It hadn't been that long since he was enveloped by silence. However, unable to stand it, Idiot could only let out a weak laugh. Idiot's laugh eventually spread to Mion and the old lady. Not knowing exactly what they were laughing at, the laughter left a lingering chill. The only ones not laughing were the Higurashi, to neither Sybil and enchanted chorus. Yeah, they already know. They already know. Oh my god. How are we on time? We good to go over another one? I find it in poor taste that there's 10 folders of save files and no decision making. Jesus. I'm going to assume we're good, and I'm gonna go for another chapter. Is that alright? Let me just stretch. Oh! How's the Higurashi going? Pretty well. Nothing too crazy has happened just yet in this chapter. Chapter 4, by the way. Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good. We do be vibing fairly well. Oh wait, oh dude, that sounds so real. Oh my god. I thought that was me. Jesus. Phone suddenly rang. Yep, sounds about right. Woke up in a hurry. The clock read 9 p.m. Oh. I like to save each episode in Tea Party in separate files. Why? Well, I don't know much about Umineko, so. Damn it! I slept past the time I was supposed to report in. Picked up the receiver. Agasaka-sama! You have a call from outside line. Shall I connect you? It's from a coworker named Kano-sama. I knew it. I didn't call in, so they had phoned me. Sorry, please put him through. Understood. I'll connect you, so please hang up the receiver for the time being. So I put down the receiver for a few seconds. The phone began to ring again. Yes, hello? This is Akasaka. Akasaka-kun, this is Kano. Good work out there. You didn't call in for your regular report, so we called instead. What's your situation? Leaving the lecture for later, my senior coworker got straight to the point. Today I went to the village proper. Under the guise of a tourist, I managed to establish contact with the mayor and several other core members of the Defense Alliance. I was unable to ask them anything, but I left a good impression that was able to make a bridge for my investigation from tomorrow onwards. I see. Looks like things are going smoothly. Akasaka-kun, you seem rather naive sometimes, but that might have worked in your favor. Oh, wow. Guess you made some good progress for now. I don't have the experience to make a comparison, so I don't know if it's that good or not. I think things went well for today, though. Did you find out anything from the prefectural or local officers? Does it look as though Onigafuchi's defense alliance is unrelated to this incident? I still didn't know.
Should have been able to say something that immediately. I only had to say that, but for some reason, I hesitated. I'm still investigating, so I don't know what to say yet. I see. You do let us know as soon as possible. I think you understand, but after tonight, it'll have been full 4 days since the kidnapping happened. It said it didn't set a time limit, but it's obvious that time is not on our side. I think you know that. Yeah, I know. I'll investigate a little quicker, while still being careful about it. Okay, be sure to look after yourself. You're dealing with a violent organization here. It might be dangerous to let your guard down. I think they're just making, well, I was gonna say they're making him more paranoid, but I think he has the right to be paranoid. You know? If you feel that you're in any danger, contact me immediately. In that case, I can get the local public safety office prepared to help you. Thank you. I'll do my best. Anything else to report? I reported several bits of supplementary information. At the very end, I decided to ask, how's the investigation going on your end? Everybody's doing their best here, but we're not making much progress. For all, the number of organizations we're investigating is vast. So if you find out the one you're investigating is in the clear, we'll have you return to Tokyo to assist some of the other officers. Chief is saying to dig up what you can on Onagafuchi, but I don't think the residential anti-dam protest group has any relation to the incident at hand. Sending somebody out to investigate a single group makes me cringe, really. Cringe! At this point, he was just complaining. He was telling me to stop taking my time enjoying my trip, to finish up and get back quick. I'll try and resolve this as soon as I can. Thanks. Counting on you. Well then, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Okay. That's all I have. So we were ending our call. He scolded me thoroughly for being late with my regular report. After that, I hung up the phone and sprawled out on the bed. Come to think of it, I hadn't heard anything from Oishi. He was supposed to contact me about a time and place to meet with the informant tonight. I thought about getting angry with Oishi in retaliation for being scolded for forgetting my daily report. Come to think of it, though, Oishi didn't really say anything other than that he was going to call tonight. Waiting for a phone call when he didn't know what time it was going to come was in itself rather difficult. Probably at like 9 or midnight or something. Oh, no. Just when I thought that, the phone rang. Picked up the receiver in a hurry. Hello? Well, this is a surprise. Akasaka-san, you're pretty quick to answer the phone. Well, you're a regular user of dating chat lines or something. Ah, Oishi. I would never even try something seedy like that. The way you overreact is rather interesting. Want to go to the place where you can have a little bit of lewd fun? Wait. No. Is that Oishi? Oh, yeah, that's Oishi. I'll pass, so can you please get to the point, Oishi-san? Oishi phones! No, God. Really? Too bad, we'll leave that for next time then. Well, I bet I'll get to the point. Many of the executives in the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance have a lot of sway in the neighboring regions. Even in Okonomiya, there were a lot of people with relations in the village. That's why meeting them in the Shishibone Market District far from Okonomiya was a matter of course. Akasaka-san, over here. Did you get a little lost? Coming from the north entrance may have been a bit of a detour, but it was easier to give directions from there. No, I'm sorry for being late. Did you eat dinner already? Yeah, I already did. Well then, shall we go to a place where we can get a drink? Do you prefer Western alcohol? Or maybe sake? Would you prefer a place with or without women? What? Don't worry about it. I don't drink while I'm on the job. Hearing that, the man Oishi had brought along bent backwards as he coughed, clapping Oishi on the shoulder. See? Isn't he just adorable? Bruh. In exchange, can you give him a bit extra? That money all came from this guy's wallet, you know. The man that Oishi had brought seemed almost like a ticket scalper or a bookie. Even his appearance was dubious. The informant grinned deviously. Hey boy, how much did you give this guy? Looks like there's quite a bit skimmed off the top, you know. Oishi's handling fee was included as I took that into account. It seemed that the informant had expected a more extravagant reaction on my part. I responded matter-of-factly and realized I was an entirely different type of person than he was. rather than putting a distance between us, it seemed I had piqued his interest. I said it, didn't I? He's a serious type. But do you see, Akasaka-san? People in a line of work like ours can really use their wealth of experience to their advantage. What? Wealth of experience. Yes, I definitely have that. I'm wondering exactly how the experience of drinking in a bar with women would work to my advantage. The informant, unable to contain himself, clutched to his stomach as he gawped, heedless of people watching. Oh, lordy! Akasaka-san, you can really judge people. You really can judge people. That's what education does for you. Oishi-san? You've been drinking somewhere, haven't you? Are you drunk? What's wrong with drinking when I'm off duty? Even if you're working, I'm not. Oishi, who was that sort of fool around? Who's the sort that fool around to begin with? But in such a good mood, I couldn't figure out a way to deal with him. Completely different than me, would come worried about getting every bit of information I could. Oishi-san, after taking so much money, you were supposed to give me information worth at least as much. Thought this, but then realized I was getting my information from the informant, so it didn't matter how drunk Oishi was. There's nothing I couldn't complain about. Nothing I could complain about, but I still felt slightly riled up. Oishi and the informant, who was no doubt a fake name, but he introduced himself as Sato, led the way deeper and deeper into the back streets of the market district. Even though the market was bustling, a couple of turns off the main street, you were in S? Desolate? I'm guessing that's A. Desolate, another typo, but that's fine. S. S. Desolate. Oishi started climbing a set of stairs inside of the seedy building. There weren't any sort of signage, so I couldn't tell if the place was open or even if it was a store at all. Don't worry, this isn't a dubious place. Those words coming from Oishi's mouth had absolutely no credibility. Beyond the door was thankfully a typical mahjong parlor. I was relieved it wasn't sort of suspicious place I had to be on my guard about. Welcome, welcome! Oh, Oishi-san, it's been a while. Want to join in? There'll be a free spot soon. No, I'm here with a group today, so it's fine. Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. Mahjong is a game played with 4 people. Seems like a middle-aged man who was going to be our 4th had already arrived and was waiting for us. We're here for information! We're not here for... Okay. You're late, Kurado. I was thinking of going home. Oishi made an excuse for why it had taken so long. Eventually, realizing I was a new face, the other man grew interested. That's Akasaka-san. He's a rookie who came all the way from Tokyo on assignment. They have high hopes for him. Boy, can you play mahjong? Well, I played a bit when I was a little student. Sato and the old man cackled in unison. Their plot to sucker me out of money was painfully obvious. I thought you'd be a bit tired from your assignment, leaving you on edge all the time, so I thought I'd give you a night to cleanse your spirit. Woohoo. I know asking this now might be stupid, but we're betting money on this, aren't we? Well, you see, just a little. It's just a little for funsies. I never thought Oishi would say funsies. What the heck? Well, it doesn't matter who loses, because after this, we're all using the money to play at a very nice place. Go and play? At what kind of place would you be doing that? Without reservation, the 3 of them started suggesting places like cabarets, cabarets, high-class clubs, and even brothels. At the very least, they were the type of places that you couldn't go with money, that was just for funsies. Oishi-san took all my money the other day, and I also have work to do, so I can't stay for long. Then all you have to do is win. If you win, then you can use that money to pay for this table. You can talk to Kurado about the work or whatever. No matter what happened, it seemed like they were intent on playing mahjong for free. I will have to fasten my resolve a bit. If I was going to be underestimated like this forever, it was going to get in the way of my work. I understand. Then, play with you guys just for a bit. If I win, you guys don't get any of the money, or get to go any of those dirty places, and you get to talk about work right away. Yeah, bring it on. If we win, we're headed straight to the Blue Mermaid on Flower Road. Oh, that place where the girls dress up in gym clothes and maid uniforms. This is a Lek? Bleach. Here likes that place too. Of course, we're going to hop between all the places where they keep the girls coming. Slurps? Oh, freaking disgusting. Wahahaha. What about you, Sato-san? I prefer a place where we can drink. Quietly. Huh? Like a nice quiet place where you can play footsies with a bunny girl? The last time we went drinking, you pulled the tail right off that bunny girl, didn't you? What the heck? Lecher? I don't know what a lecher is. I've never heard that word in my life. Didn't you end up having to pay for that? The owner ended up charging what he called a tailoring fee. Oh, okay. Is it like a D&D term? D&D as in back in the day. What a lively table this was. I could tell the other customers were glaring at us while we loudly continued our crude conversation. Speaking of which, the fact that they assumed I was the same was a bit disheartening. I wish he had taken all the money I'd brought, so everything I had left was out of my own pocket. In addition, there wasn't that much left of that either. I kept on hanging around him like this, though. He was goading. Through his goading, my wallet would disappear into the night. I had to somehow win and return the conversation to my job. These people, no matter how you looked at it, were pretty good. Sorry, Yukie. I know we need this money for my child, but what's better? Them freaking gambling or whatever? Or hanging out with the club and doing club fun games? I choose the club. The club fun games. This is... no. Plus they're all guys, and I'm horrible at doing guy voices. So that sucks. Nyahaha. Well then, I just call Richie here. Yeah, but you can win money here. Shut up. Well, the old man and Sato-san probably won't fall for this silly Richie. That's a thing in Mahjong, right? Wonder if Akasaka-kun will spit out what I need. At any rate, Kurato's hand is probably holding something like that, huh? In that case, this one's ought to go through here. Through there! Da, 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 da. I love how Oishi's first name is Kurado. That's so funny to me. Oh, the old man's pretty good. He's quietly trying to use one of my safe tiles to complete his hand, isn't he? Seems like Akasaka-san at least learned the ropes when it comes to guarding against someone's Richie. That'll be his downfall. What's wrong, boy? Did you hurry up and discard? You're not sure anything that Kurado's already thrown away should be safe, no? I love how there's just people in the freaking frames. Oh, Akasaka-kun's getting really fretted over this one. That was glaringly obvious. It was glaringly obvious that he had a safe tile to discard. He didn't want to throw it away because it would move him farther from completing his hand. Final Fantasy VII was a big fan of Oishi. What? Really? Is there a freaking Higurashi reference in it? They're so nice and they're young and innocent. Oh, shut up. Come on, hurry up and throw out the kicker. He gave me the winning tile. We'd be heading off to the establishment where I could do all sorts of licking. Oh, God, I hate this. How did that guy say star emoji out loud? Dude, no, it's the way you say it. It's the way you say it. Named its main character after Oishi. Oh, I see. That's interesting, man. That's interesting. If he gives this old man the winning tile, we'd be headed straight to the place of the maids and bloomers. Oh, Lord. This will go through, right? He looked up as he hesitantly threw out a tile that was... oh, too bad. Hey now, it's a dangerous tile, you know. Geraldo, does that go through? Yeah, it will. Seems that this time you were lucky. But as long as the round keeps going, I can still win off the draw. Dude, I have no idea how Mahjong works. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. But after that, Akasaka-san managed to luckily avoid throwing any bad tiles. Somehow, the round managed to end without anybody completing their hand. Tenpai, Senpai, no ten. Sato-san had keenly anticipated that two players were in Riichi and decided to play it safe. What does this mean? What does it mean? I don't know. If you lose, you get a battle range. What a cool-headed way of playing. Now let's see, what kind of hand did Akasaka-kun have? The round ends with nobody winning in Mahjong. Anybody in Tenpei has to show their hand. But if you're not in Tenpei, you have no obligation to reveal it. What is Tenpai? What is Tenpai? Kanpai! The average beginner would normally show their hand even if they weren't in Tenpai, and start a commotion about how if this tile or that tile came, they would be in Tenpai. But he didn't. Being stingy? How'd you do, boy? Come on, show me. Sato-san reached over to flip the hand that Akasaka-kun had carefully placed face down. What the hell is this? He was nowhere near Tenpai. Is Akasaka-kun totally bad at this after all? Right then, as the old man compared the tiles from Akasaka-kun's hand to the discard pool, a puzzled expression crossed his face. Boy, you were in Tenpai right around here, weren't you? Why'd you break your hand? The higher Manzu tiles suddenly got more valuable, so he suppressed them. Even though with Oishi-san's Riichi, the chance that they were safe tiles had increased. It would have been no trouble if he read the discards, but he went out of his way to keep them out of play. Dude, I feel like I'm reading like some freaking olden game. Like, oh? So Gurado's Tenpai was no good from the start, in other words. If it wasn't such a high-level trap, I would have thought you were waiting for me to throw out the winning tile. Why can't they just play freaking Yu-Gi-Oh or something? But the more concerning thing is that you're in Tenpai and didn't say anything. A hand in Tenpai, or ready, when only one more tile is needed to complete the hand. So you're Uno, basically. That's what I kind of got the idea that it was just Uno. when you have one ready. When you realize I was in Tenpai? Around here? Threw out 4 tiles in a row immediately. First I thought you were just discarding redundant tiles, but I noticed you were glancing over at me and realized you were waiting for something. Akasaka-kun, Akasaka-san, when did you first start playing Mahjong? I never did, except for high school and university. Now, let's continue. Since Sato-san wasn't in Tenpai and the round ended without a winner, then I'm next, right? The next dealer. Seems like Akasaka-san is really aware of how the game flows. I thought we were just going to eat him alive, but it looks like that isn't going to be so easy. I love the freaking noises. Oishi-san, it looks like you're going for the bamboo tiles. Should I put some in play? This boy. Grado, don't back down. As long as I get 3 more good tiles. Sato-san, think you can do it? Damn it. I'll just force you to go for a cheap Tanyao. Gee. A straight? Well, sorry, I'm going to pawn that tile. Whoa, now. Going to call 3 of a kind after he declared a straight? Trying to override and interfere? What is this, poker now? Boy, you're getting pretty used to this. Oh no. I can't even compare you guys. You've been playing since before I was even born. That's game, Ron. Triplets, 2 red Dora, 3 more Dora. I'm the dealer, so this will cost you quite a bit. Akasaka-san, nice job. Now we'll have to get serious, won't we? Well, can you get serious about handling over your points? I'm tired, so let's end this quickly. Akasaka-kun, this is somehow unreal. Before I could realize it, there's ominous cold air emitting beneath Akasaka-kun's feet. How Blaze? What the heck? The 2, 5, and 8 Manzus were laughing at you. Damn it! Boy, you! Grado, finish it! You have to end the boy's turn as dealer! I hate to admit it, that seems like the best option. There it is. Run. Run. Probably. Simple straights, 1 Dora. Sorry, Ed Bump. Run. Ran. Straight. A head bump? Damn brat. Brat? You played that sloppily against a brat? Guess that means you're worse than a brat yourself. Oh, so interesting the way you guys call people things like brat and boy. Akasaka-kun, that is you, isn't it? Dude, this guy. Akasaka-kun getting like so serious and into this. Like doing the glasses push-up, you know? Jesus Christ. Feels like you're a totally different person. You thought that I, being a sucker, would let you drink some good booze tonight. Seems like you were a little off the mark. Ron. Triple straight. Red Dota. Another Dota. Whoa. He actually did it. That's why I'm saying you guys are slacking. No matter how you look at it, you have to be able to read such an obvious three-way weight. Akasaka-kun chuckled as he rested his chin on his hands. That pose was so fitting, it was almost scary. Hey, Graudo, this isn't what we discussed. Who the hell said he was a naive sucker ripe for the picking? Who could it be? Oishi-san, this is bad. If he keeps going like this, we're seriously going to lose. Akasaka-kun, for you to make me get serious? Looks like you really want to be milk dry. Fun. Fun. Sounds nice. One more time. Fun. Milk. Akasaka-kun was almost singing at this point. The tiles he had opened were all pin tiles. You can't be serious. Are you really going for the flush? Fun. Boy, are you right in the head. You've opened 4 sets. You only have 1 tile left, you know. That's right. Did you know? Waiting on a single tile is the hardest thing to read. Are you an idiot? With that much of your hand revealed, you don't think we'd give you a tile you need, do you? I know what you're doing, Akasaka-san. That's not a flush or a half flush, is it? The fact that you called Bond 4 times means you're already in a position for an all-triplet hand. Right now, you're far and away in the lead. You're trying to show a flush and goad us into giving you triplets, aren't you? That's what you think. Want to try throwing out some pins? The left 5 tiles in your hand. If that's what you think, want to try throwing out some pins? The left 5 tiles in your hand, Oishi-san. They're pin tiles you're reluctant to throw away, aren't they? Why don't you try discarding them in order from the left? Must be joking. Is he a Mahjong god? If not, he had to be the main character of a manga or something. Yeah, Kaiji. At that moment, the old man sent me a sign under the table. The message was simple and clear. Graudo, do it. Crush him. I don't like to cheat against kids. No! Don't do that! Don't. Oh, come on. Let him win. Idiot. We're being disrespected like this. We can't pull back now. Oh, I'm not responsible for what happens, you know. Go ahead. Here we go, boy. Richie. We'll go open. Waiting for a 1, 4, or 7 of pins. Most likely the tile that Akasaka-kun was waiting for was one of those tiles. For this, Akasaka-kun was no longer capable of winning the hand. When I drew from the wall, I switched out the tile that Akasaka-kun would draw. The tile that I put in was the 1 pin. One of the tiles that the old man was waiting on. Akasaka-kun discarded it a little while ago, so there was no threat of it being the one he needed. Come on, it's your turn, boy. Knew he was troubled that tile he drew was the 1 pin. Of course, he couldn't discard it. Boy, must be aware, but if you discard into the open Richie, it's worth the limit, you know. You don't have to tell me that. The tile came from Akasaka-kun's hand was an honor tile. Whew, ain't that something? There's only 1 north wind tile left, isn't there? You were counting on a really rough wait, weren't you? But with this, Akasaka-kun's fate was decided. Rat, you're lucky you're safe. But your hand only has a single tile left. You'd think you'd be able to run away the rest of the round? So it's going to be like that. Akasaka-kun glared at the old man with a discerning eye. This guy had pretty good instincts. Did he figure out we were cheating? Let's stop this. Akasaka-kun is a step or two ahead of us. Fool! You think you could stop after we come this far? Next, make him draw it. Next tile Akasaka-kun would draw was the 7 pin. With that, it would be settled. No matter which one he discarded, to play right into the old man's hand. An unavoidable full payout. When I drew my tile, sneakily swapped Akasaka-san's. Choo! Crash. What? Akasaka-kun suddenly sneezed, collapsing the wall of tiles in front of him. Oh my god. Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, I accidentally knocked over the wall when I sneezed. It's a penalty for that, right? I'm the dealer, so 4,000 everybody? Or is the penalty my point sticks? Unable to hold back, I gawked. Akasaka-kun, knowing he was going to be cornered a second time and unable to escape, took the drastic measure of knocking over his own wall. You're good, boy, to get away from a full pail like that. Oishi-san, could you not bother putting me in such an obvious trap? If we were at Baba, this would have been the point where I flipped the table. Oh, no. Sorry. I underestimated you. For some reason, you're really good, aren't you? Answer me honestly. You got a lot of experience when you were younger, didn't you? I played quite a bit around Waseda and Takeda Nobara. Yeah. This place I was accustomed to going to had pretty high rates, and they chewed me out. I made the woman who would become my wife pretty angry, so I washed my hands of it all. Raised the stakes too high? How much were you playing for at the time? Depends on who I was playing with, but it was more expensive when I played in Kabukicho. The largest stakes I played with were about 20 times the standard rate. 20 times? What kind of stakes were those? Did you have Yakuza at your table? Or pro baseball players? What's this? Geraldo, you buffoon! Where did you pull this professional from? I give up. Jeez. Boy, it's your win. I surrender. Thank you very much. It was an honor. Oh my. Akasaka-san, your personality really changes when you play. Why do you even have a day job? You have no problem living as a freelancer. To be a pro Mahjong player, you need both talent and luck. I never had anything like that supporting me. Well, 'cause luck, somebody of your skill, I'd think you'd be able to make it pretty far. Normal luck doesn't cut it. Calling a con in 1 time out of 3, you can aim to win on the extra draw with a 4 Dora. That kind of luck. Akasaka-kun, you could judge something like that. You're already bordering on the supernatural. No, there's plenty of people who can do that without cheating or superpowers. There's a person I met in Shinjuku who could get Doras every time he blinked. He was as strong as a demon. There's a pro I played with in Yokohama who would draw the tile he needed immediately after calling Ricci like it was an everyday thing. I don't have that kind of luck. What type of folks were those? They weren't named Ryu or Satoshi by any chance. Well then, is it alright if I'm declared the overall winner then? Yeah, we totally lost. I lost. It's been a while since I lost this big. Still, when you're playing, boy, you're pretty into it. It's kind of scary. Hear that a lot. I don't mean to change gears like that though. Did it really look that scary? Yep. Aw. Bye-bye, East. I don't think this will go on too much longer, but yeah. Bye-bye! Have a good rest. 3 of us nodded emphatically in agreement. So that was Akasaka-kun on Mahjong Prodigy. Before he goes home and out from his assignment, maybe I could have him go play at high stakes table in my place. But it's not good to get greedy. Well then, nothing for it. It was a promise. We'll break up our little late night study group right now. Sorry about this, old man. That's it for tonight. Nothing you could do. I'm going home to sleep. My body won't last like this. Mom's at work? Oh, he's the foreman of the primary... He's the foreman of the primary construction site at the Himizawa Dam. Bruh. What? He's butting heads with the residents every day. It's a rough business. Around next year, I might be in charge of the second site as well. Heard that Kuroda-san was pissing blood. He won't hold out much longer. You'll be alright, old man. Your skull's thicker than he looks. Not exactly a saint, you know. There's times that just make my blood boil. Especially can't stand thinking with that bratty daughter of the Sonozakis. Think one of those days I'm gonna rearrange her face. Wow. No. At least the pay is good, right? I heard the wages were pretty exorbitant. Of course they are. If the pay was cheap, nobody would hang around that god-awful job. Hey, Kurado, exactly when are the police going to tell all the villagers to shove off? There'll be a notice of eviction from government, right? Maybe? I wonder what will happen. The old man who identified himself as the foreman of the Hinamizawa Dam spewed a few compliments until he felt better about it and then left quietly. Well then, let's go. I'll leave the rest to you, Sato-san. Oishi-san, are you going home? If I'm here, I'll just be in the way, won't I? Besides, the one who brought Sato-san's services was you. Didn't pay for my share. Oishi-san was kind of sketchy, but he was strangely conscientious about some things. I felt kind of a bit of a gap between myself and Oishi's generation from that part of him I didn't comprehend. Then, boy. No, I can't call Mr. Mahjong here boy no more. Sakasaka-kun, alright with you? Yes. Then, Akasaka-kun, shall we go? Well then, Akasaka-san, later. If you're having any trouble, you can count on me anytime. I don't have any more money to pay you, you know that? You can just give back a little of what I lost tonight. Oishi, seemingly not having had his fill of playing around, but without overstaying his welcome, disappeared into the night. Holy heck, that was so long. Heckin' Mahjong, Jesus Christ. What are we gonna freaking, like, I feel like the guy who made this really likes making anime game scenes. You know? The informant named Sato-san had me get into his car before we set off. He favored narrow roads and made numerous short left turns. Checking if we're being followed? Yeah, you know a lot about this. Checking to see if you were being tailed by making left turns was a rather classic technique. If it was a single cruiser, you would confirm it that way. But if you were being tailed as a team, this archaic method wouldn't let you shake them. Of course, doing it anyway was better than not. I didn't hear anything from the boss as to who you are, Saku-kun. Related to the police? You're familiar with checking for being tailed. The other only possibility I can think of is something like a private detective. It's not something I have to say. I'd like to refuse to answer that question. My. Ever since we played Mahjong, you seem to be a lot more mature. Wonder where that hesitant person went when we first met. Smiled wryly. Thinking back now, I had to be a little grateful for being made to play Mahjong. Thanks to that, I was able to relieve some tension. Eventually, Sato-san, confirming that there were no cars following us, slipped outside the city. We were on a pitch-black country road, unable to see anything besides the lights outside. The only thing I was able to hear were the hum of the car's air conditioning and the chirping of insects and frogs. I heard from the boss you want to hear a bit about Hinamizawa Village, yeah? Like about the old houses known as the three families control the place, or that right now it's pretty much the Sonozaki family running things. If you know that much already, I've cut out the introductions. Then, if you would, can you confirm or deny if the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance is involved with the kidnapping of Mr. Inugai's grandson? Sato-san checked the rearview mirror one more time to confirm that there wasn't anybody behind us before speaking. Last night, Sonozaki main house held a family council. Did you hear about it from the boss? No. If it was a normal meeting, then it would all just be the relatives coming together over a nice cup of tea or something, but family council held by the main house isn't quite so relaxed. Family council held by the Sonozaki main house. Yeah. That would be a meeting between those who truly controlled Hinamizawa Village. They wouldn't be talking about private family matters, they would be talking about the village as a whole. About organizing activities against the dam project. Among other things, and everything would be decided there. In reality, they were deciding the fate of the village. At the head of the meeting was Odio Sonozaki. more or less called Empress Sonozaki. As the ultimate decision-maker of the clan, she was to be feared and respected. Infirm with old age, she was often unable to stand on her own, but her words carried enough weight to sway the fate of the village. It seemed that lately she had grown weak, and on days when she wasn't feeling well, remained bedridden. Family councils that occurred while she wasn't feeling well took place with her on the floor. In the middle of the dignified Japanese-style room, still a futon, only the upper half of her body sitting upright, a stern look on her face. That was Odio Sonozaki. Sitting next to her was her heir, Mion Sonozaki. She was still young. No, young wasn't quite the right word. She was a girl who remained childish. Her role was to merely sit beside Odio Sonozaki, sometimes responding to her requests. However, she was the only one deemed worthy to succeed Odio. She had the same hawkish eyes, enough to give pause to anybody who so much looked at them. Much was expected of her in the future, this granddaughter of the Sonozaki's leader. And, also on either side of her, sat several other important members of the remaining three families, Kimiyoshi family and the Furude family. First on the list for the Kimiyoshi family was of course, the mayor of Hinamizawa village, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. And lined up beside him were several more of his distant direct relatives. Opposite them sat the other of the three families, the Furude family. The Furude family was comprised of the family of a Shinto priest, so the only ones sitting there were said priest, his wife, and their daughter Rika. Rika was doted on by many of the older folks in the village, and it seemed that Odio was no exception. While the stress from attending the family council was said to be enough to shorten your lifespan by 3 days, it seemed that Rika was the only one exempt from that. No matter how charged the atmosphere was around her, she paid no mind to it, instead humming along as she doodled in her sketchbook. In fact, the night before, laying on her stomach while humming and doodling, she nonchalantly tucked her legs in Odio's futon like it was a kotatsu. All this was the three families, and all around the room, lined row upon row, were the relatives of the Sonozaki family. The only ones who were afforded cushions to sit on were direct relatives. Those were left to sit on the saiza position directly on tatami mats. With Emperor Sonozaki enshrined at their center, they were almost like a giant snake coiled around the room. We decided that everybody would sit in order of their rank. The number of people from the Sonozaki family was overwhelming. The fact that the Sonozaki family held so many seats at a meeting where everything pertaining to the village was decided made determining... The fact that the Sonozaki family held so many seats at a meeting where everything pertaining to the village was decided made determining where the balance of power was held in the three families as clear as day. The number of members in attendance from each of the families directly reflected how much influence they had in ruling Hinamizawa. What was talked about at the meeting? Sato-san, after remaining silent for a while, quietly began to speak. Wasn't our monetary gift of appreciation to the media a little large? Breaking a long moment of silence of the head of the Kimiyoshi family, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. The Onigafuchi Defense Alliance wasn't a business. They were nothing more than a private organization pushing for the collection of the Hinamizawa Dam project, with no reliable source of income. Fundraising had always been a problem. When they first started operating, they had managed to collect a sizable amount of funds through donations, but as the conflict dragged on, that amount was steadily declining. This wasn't an era where you could just go out and get what you want by just throwing rocks. It's very important you don't underestimate the power of media, and we want to borrow some of that down the road. The expressions of the people related to the Sonozaki family were sullen. Someone suggested that they should borrow power from the family head, Odio Sonozaki. The battle wasn't just about force of arms. In this civilized age, there were civilized methods of fighting. Odio suggested that, creating a strategy incorporating the mass media. Odio's foresight was spot on. The effects of the plan, while first unclear, slowly began to manifest. The physical complication of the construction site was meant to delay the progress of the dam by even 1 day. Yes? My brother was telling me that he's going to work. Don't know why he felt the need to say that, but he did. That's fine. Where was I? Propaganda war using the media was aimed at attacking the dam project itself. At first, there were those who had doubts about the strategy, but there was nobody now who called those results into question. In order to maintain those media ties, a colossal amount of money was required. As long as the amount of funds they had was abundant, things would turn out fine. It could be argued that it was a massive expense, but the results spoke for themselves. But with the conflict continuing to drag on, the circumstances had changed. The head of the Sonozaki family, no, the one who sat at the pinnacle of the Himazawa three families, Odio, suggested the idea herself, who was already untouchable, and continued to be allowed to drain from the budget. Nobody acknowledged that it should be so allowed, and nobody could say anything. That was the price of dealing with the mass media. What do you think, Odio-san? The one person who could object to a plan proposed by a head of the Sonozaki family, the Sonozaki household itself, was probably Mayor Kimiyoshi. Odio, with a hard-to-define expression on her face, as if she had severed herself from the fetters of mortal emotion, simply listened quietly to Kimiyoshi's words. Oh, really? It was hard to tell if it was quietly listening or didn't have the intention of listening at all. Last year, we went through a lot of trouble getting people to wrap their heads around the price hike on the bulletins we were putting out. We convinced them it was just one time. It just wouldn't do if we had another one this year. Right, Furida-san? Maria looked at the priest and his wife from the Furida family for affirmation. The priest gave a vague expression, avoiding a prompt response. But his wife gave her answer without a second thought. That's right. Cost of bulletins are a particularly harsh burden for the poorer families. Everyone is dealing with it for the sake of the village, but it's best that we don't increase the prices anymore. Bulletin was, as the name implied, a bulletin published by the Onigabashi Defense Alliance. It outlined the alliance's activities, ideals, resolve. Who could deny its contents were rather piecemeal? Bulletin's main goal wasn't to inform people, but rather was to sell to businesses and people living in the village or connected to it, using those sales to collect funds. In other words, it had become something of a tax. Of course, it didn't have to be said that this was one of the main sources of income for the Onigabashi Defense Alliance. Originally, purchase was supposed to be voluntary, but Himatsubushi had silently become the opposite. In the neighboring towns as well, we found that many businesses were buying copies just to avoid butting heads with the alliance. The priest whispered to his wife not to say anything unnecessary, but was struck down decidedly with a cold glare. Cowering from that glare, the priest shut his mouth. The priest's wife had always held power in their relationship. That was because she was one who carried the Fude bloodline. The priest merely married into the family. He was nothing more than somebody who adopted the name just to join the three families. He should have been able to find a spot fairly high up in the hierarchy of things, but the lack of authority in his voice meant that he still had not gained any favor. Casting a backwards glance to the rather disparate parents, he continued to do whimsically without paying them any mind. Signaled by a look from Audio, Neon brought her ear closer to her grandmother. There, something was said to her in a quiet voice. After responding with a couple questions, a nod from Audio, Neon looked around the room and conveyed her grandmother's words. There will be no freeze on the price increase for the bulletin. Hiroshi made a face like he had just bitten into something unpleasant. That expression quickly disappeared like it never happened at all. But, Neon-chan, you already know this, but the cost of the bulletin is by no means easily affordable. It's a burden carried by everybody in Hinamizawa. If we make people carry too much of that burden, it's possible we'll collapse from the inside. And who on the inside would start that collapse? Who? I didn't mean it like that. I'm asking who would be the first to buckle. Being cross-examined by a girl who had the fragments of childishness remaining within her, the words stuck in Kimiyoshi's throat as he slept into silence. Yuna repeated her question once more, looking around the crowded room. Everybody refrained from making eye contact to avoid being pierced by her gaze. The words she had spoken were unarguably said in proxy for Audio. As when Mion spoke to them, they carried the same weight. But the look in her eyes was different. Like Audio's, they had a hawkish gaze, strong enough that anybody looking upon them would freeze in their tracks and yield. But that gaze was without question one that belonged to Mion herself. Mion would eventually inherit everything from Audio. The day when she would stand up as a young and capable leader in her own right would come. Nobody wanted to believe otherwise for even a minute. That's why nobody even thought of Mion as just some sort of little kid. Miyoshi-san, nobody will lose their resolve over something like a price hike on a bulletin. Miyoshi, while grumbling a little bit, made a gesture as if to say he had no objection. The expenses related to the mass media will continue. If those expenses become too much, we'll have no choice but continue the price hikes. Mion had rendered her judgment. Everybody bowed their heads, silently listening to her words. In the name of Mion Sonozaki, as acting head of the Sonozaki family, I hereby declare that all this shall be effective immediately. There shall be no objections, and any opposed shall be removed by force. Jesus, Mion. I mean, I get it, but... Well, no, I don't get it. The formal decree was read aloud, indicating her judgment. There'd be no retrial. There was a certain authority behind those words that even the courthouse couldn't compare to. If she was a judge, she would have banged her gavel, signaling the matter was settled. Mion pulled out a large bell from inside her clothes and rang it. What? Huh? Everybody present can only prostrate themselves before a harsh sound of the bell. The bell is the gavel. Well, that's a really rather old-fashioned family council, isn't it? A young guy like you would probably find it hard to believe. In an antique place like this, these types of things have firm roots. It's exactly as Oishi had said. The old system of the three families had vanished, and now the Sonozaki family was running things by themselves. On top of that, their ruler was borderline despotic. Was that the end of the meeting? No, there's more. I'll continue. Eventually, after ringing the bell ceased, there was a deafening silence. Then all of that, a lone man shuffled closer to Mion and whispered something in her ear. Mion asked several questions quietly in response. She was satisfied. She motioned for the man to leave. The man who talked to Mion was a member of the gang that her father was the leader of. The organization that the entire area of Shishibone City was under its control. He was quite well known even here. Of course, this was talking about the criminal underworld, so it's not like just anybody would know. Just showing a patch with the gang symbol on it was enough to resolve any disputes in the neighborhood. Mion's biological father, Tuodio, was her daughter's husband. Yes. Part of that man's gang was a driving force that controlled the dark underbelly of the Onigachi Defense Alliance. So that man, who was positioned as the next in line to control the three families, continued to coerce everybody around him with his unconventional presence. Mion exchanged a look with her father. Is it okay for her to tell what you just heard directly to Odio? It looked like she was asking him that question. Father gently but firmly nodded his response. Mion also nodded, then sidled up to Odio and informed her of something. Eventually, Mion finished conveying her message, separated herself from Odio, fixed her posture, waiting for Odio to signal her response. It wasn't often that Odio showed any emotion, so I reached out to laugh quietly. A vague sense of uneasiness crept over everybody in the room. That's quite the conundrum, isn't it? Odio was laughing so happily that Kimiyoshi had hesitantly asked, "What is it, Odio-san?" "This land is like a mother to us. Then this business with the dam is like somebody threatening our mother's life, isn't it?" Kimiyoshi, unable to comprehend the meaning of her words, looked confused. Odio, with a wide grin on her face, turned towards everybody and addressed them in a clarion voice. "The minister behind the dam project is apparently rattled over the kidnapping of his grandson. That makes us even." Well, it's confirmed. That's absurd! Information on the kidnapping of Mr. Inagai's grandson shouldn't have leaked from anywhere. How did they know? Even if we didn't know much about the kidnapping incident, exactly how did an antiqued household so far away from Tokyo come to know of it? But they did it, right? It was a tranquil place, but I couldn't help but have an uneasy feeling about Hinuizawa village. At some point I mentally filed this place away as unrelated to the incident at hand. That mental paperwork had just blown away in the wind. How did the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance know about that? Sato-san, unable to come up with an answer, fell into silence. "I'm sorry. Please continue." "Sure. The Minister of Construction's grandson was kidnapped? Odio-san, is that true? That major of an incident is nowhere to be seen on the newspapers or on TV. But in Hiumizawa, there was nothing strange about Odio knowing something that the rest of the world didn't. Our pain is the pain of losing a mother. I don't think it completely makes up for it, but the pain of losing your grandchild? We'll have to bear with that for a bit, don't you think? The last question wasn't addressed to anybody in particular. God bless you, Reigns. God, hold on, stretch too. Okay. Yes, my voice is so bad. My voice is so bad right now. But even just a little bit of water helps so much. I got another water bottle. Alright. Okay. That question wasn't addressed to anybody in particular. It was as if she was looking for consensus. Still, land and human child are different things. I don't mind hiding him here. I want no harm to befall him. The child isn't to blame. Make sure to keep that in mind. That means that the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance were involved with the kidnapping. I can't say for certain. Why? Even though the leader, Odio, was clearly giving orders on the treatment of the kidnapped child? Lad, you see, this is what the Sonozaki family always does. Always does? What do you mean by that? Let's say there's a particular problem. One that wasn't exactly favorable for the Sonozaki family. Odio shows concern over that particular problem. Hearing that, somebody who attended the family council would be helpful. As a result, Odio's wish would be granted. Ah, I see. So she didn't order it, but it just happened without her saying anything. How wonderful. However, neither Odio nor anyone else would know who actually did it. It's kind of clever little ploy. The Sonozaki family was able to manipulate events, even though they had their hands laid out on the table. Then that means that somebody who was at the family council was the culprit. Or there's a possibility that there never was a culprit in the first place. Odio herself, in the room full of people, didn't explicitly say that somebody pulled off the kidnapping. She was just giving her opinion. It was an odd and unpleasantly secretive way of doing things. Were they involved or weren't they? Couldn't see beyond the veil. This much, however, I could say with certainty. Kidnapping was an ironclad secret. No matter how high a position somebody was in, even they wouldn't know about it. If there was somebody who would know about it, they would be connected to public safety. In other words, one of us. Only... I was... Heck. Nice. Only one sneeze through a 2-hour stream. I'd say that's a win. The only other options were people connected to the case itself. Including the minister, there would be people affected by the incident, or the people that committed it. In any case, there was no way an old household in a place removed from Tokyo by over 6 hours of highway travel should know about it. Them knowing at all was already strange. My suspicions began to accumulate, like falling snow. That's as much as Odio said in regards to the kidnapping. Hopefully that's what you wanted to find out was in there. Oh, I'm gonna gosh dang. My allergy is so freaking bad right now. Dude, I'm dying. Heck. Hopefully what you wanted to find out was in there. After this, it's up to you. I don't know what kind of work you're doing, but going up against the Sonozaki family, you'd best prepare yourself. Oishi might be fearless, but even he's been attacked 2 or 3 times. He hasn't been wearing it lately, but at one point he was wearing a stab-proof vest while off duty. Oh, thanks for the warning. I'll be careful. Speak pretty well. Are you from Tokyo by any chance? What's your point? Investigators were always close to danger. It's best not to divulge any information on myself. Your job. Could it possibly be somebody from the Metropolitan Police, Public Safety Division? I couldn't remain silent here. It would be the same as admitting it. Huh? No way. No way. This wasn't accounted for in the money I got from the boss. So it would have been different if I was police? Okay. But as somebody who played at the same table today, I'll give you this one as a freebie. After Audio talked about the kidnapping, there was another topic that came up. Another topic that Audio brought up? Right before he told me this, Sato-san asked, Sato-san asked if I was from the Metropolitan Police Public Safety Division, yeah. In other words, what are those two things meant to cause a chill to run up my spine? So you see, that in order to investigate the kidnapping of the minister's grandson, there's word that that there will be an investigator from public safety dispatched all the way from Tokyo. Oh no! An investigator from public safety? You can't be reckless and make a big deal over the kidnapping, so it seems like the Metropolitan Public Safety Division is investigating this on their own. Ain't that grand, What is it? Rico, who had been drawing the entire time, was completely uninterested in the conversation up until now. Looked at Audio with an interested face as soon as the topic of public safety came up.
Did the Metropolitan Police come?
Oh, so Rika-chan wants to know about the Metropolitan Police Department. That's very admirable.
Who came?
Is there anybody that knows the kind of guy from the public safety came here? Moon's father raised his hand slightly. Here it's a nice young piece of fresh meat. Fresh meat? Is it nice and tender? Yeah, it is. Fresh meat. Moon's father smiled wryly as he answered Rika's question.
Tender and tasty?
Yeah, tender and tasty. Rika smiled with interest. Why did Rika suddenly act interested only when it came to this topic? It was a question that apparently nobody had the answer to. Does Rika-chan know something about this man?
I don't know.
After a rather flat reply, Rika buried herself underneath Audio's futon again. When she buried herself there, Rika no longer started drawing again. Said she was making an expression like she was in deep in contemplation. What shall we do about him, Mother? Milan's father posed the question. He had the type of uncouth expression on his face, indicating that, given the order, he would snuff the problem out at any time. Came all the way to Hinamizawa. Let him take it easy for a little while. So you're saying just let him go around as he pleases? Milan's father asked in response. Audio smiled thinly as she responded. Leave him alone. But if he starts causing too much mischief, when that happens, don't hold back. I don't enjoy being taken lightly. Is this what they talked about? Is this what they talked about, apparently? It couldn't be that you're the fresh meat from Metropolitan Police, are you? It couldn't be. The sensation of cold, bristling fear began to crawl its way back up my spine. This family council took place last night. In other words, yesterday. And today, when I dressed up as a tourist and I toured Hinamizawa, my cover was already blown. And I remembered the first person I met when I got to the bus stop. Couldn't breathe. The person at the family council who expressed interest in the man being dispatched from the Metropolitan Police, Rika Furude. And then the person who was waiting for me the whole time at the bus shelter, Rika Furude. It was an unthinkable image. No, it was an illusion. When we met at the bus shelter, did Rika-chan already know my true identity? Did she know I was Akasaka, dispatched from the Metropolitan Police Department and come to meet me? Then, including Mayor Kimiyoshi, every villager that I met, everybody knew, but just pretended not to? Because Audio had given instructions not to interfere? Thinking about it logically, it didn't seem possible. I met quite a number of people. If there's people that are good at acting, and there's people who are bad at hiding things, if there's that many people, then there should have been somebody amongst them who knew I was for public safety and couldn't hide their hostility. However, I didn't feel any presence like that. But then, even still, why did Audio tell them to leave me alone? Is it because they were careless about it and it would only raise more suspicion? Is it because they believed a rookie like me wouldn't be able to find anything? Akasaka is a coward. Recalled that strange voice which only make me believe that Rika-chan had been possessed. That unknown entity, no matter how much you looked at it, knew my true identity from the get-go. And then, how did it warn me again? That's right. It warned me to hurry up and go back to Tokyo. Instead of the realistic worry that the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance had discovered my identity, the absurd worry brought on by the unknown girl struck me with more. What exactly was that girl? What was the thing I would eventually regret? Mysterious girl. Rikafurude. Let's stop this. Everything I was thinking of right now is merely conjecture. Tomorrow, the first thing in the morning, I'll report everything I heard right now to HQ and wait for further orders. There's no mistaking that the possibility that the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance were related to this was there. And the fact that my cover was blown meant I was in a precarious position. But as everybody at HQ was already extremely busy, they might not be able to spare the support. Is that everything? If you want, I can drop you off wherever you like. Sorry. In that case, the station where we originally met, please. Rural road where even a streetlight was rare. Couldn't see anything. I wasn't aware of anything but the asphalt that was lit up by the headlights. Outside of that light, was it simply darkness? Or was there something lurking out there, waiting to strike? I had to think I drew that short straw here. I wanted to go back to Tokyo. For some reason, the voice of the girl warning me to go back to Tokyo still lingered in my head. I think he might actually go back. I don't know. Itch. Tips! And the investigation runs around. What's in the box? The glint of a demon's eye. Achievement unlocked, Mahjong Prodigy. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay, 3 more tips. And then we're good to go. What's in the box? Oh, that looks so ominous. Jesus. Yeah. Yesterday when we met at the restaurant in Ginza, that topic popped up. It's overstepping their boundaries, isn't it? They're meddling too much with public safety. If they keep doing that, they're going to set a bad precedent. Seems that Minister Inugai is openly uncomfortable about the way public safety is doing things. The Vice Minister is probably going to say something to that effect during Monday's debate session. What can you do? You can only have the Director address the Vice Minister. Probably pay him the big bucks. Well, if it comes to that, they're going to ask him for proof that the Minister is being threatened. Sometimes I don't know what side he's on. If he's on ours, then what? Well, he's probably going to get some pressure from the Minister. Probably have to proceed with the investigation while he sweats it out in the Vice Minister's office and buys us some time. Might get so wrung out to dry that all will be left with are the dregs there. So, how's the investigation going? All the juicy leads I was pinning my hopes on turned out to be duds. Honestly, I'm at a loss. There are reports that the Hinimuzawa Dam project has been showing up a lot lately in the Minister's press releases, so what about that? Well, you say showing up, but it's really more of a very slight feeling that something's strange. He just happened to mention it during his speech at the XX Prefectural Forum, so it just might have been something that he was mentioning because it was relevant at the time. If I remember correctly, a local organization there was protesting quite violently, no? The Onagafuchi Defense Alliance. I think Akasaka-kun was investigating that. I think those guys could possibly be behind what's happening now. Even if we can't say there's anything overtly suspicious about them, it might not be prudent to remove them from the picture. Akasaka-kun reported in passing that he couldn't deny a possibility. And isn't there merit in investigating them? We're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, so if there's one of the suspicious groups that's left, we'll eventually have to. Well, they're not the only group we should investigate, right? If we're just talking about groups that are suspicious as Onagafuchi, there's quite a few of them. We don't have that men, the time, or the money at all. Try asking for more details from Akasaka-kun. I feel like we should pay some extra attention to this defense alliance. It's reported that he's established a rapport with the villagers. It also seems that he's collaborating with local police. Keep your contact with Akasaka-kun on the down low. So if there's anything in his info that merits investigation, it's possible we could send reinforcements. Got it. Sorry. Chief Kataoka. This was a phone call from the director. Should I transfer it over here? No, it's okay. I'll leave it over there. Yes, hello? And then blah 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 blah. Agasaka-kun tells all. The investigation runs aground. So true. What's in the box? What is it? Do you believe that there are choices in life? And many people lament the following. There only existed points in life where there were clear choices to make. We would be able to scrutinize those carefully and make decisions that would lead us to a better future. Every time I hear people lament as such, I cast it off as a rather trivial worry. Even if you were given a clear choice, would it be meaningful at all? There wouldn't be any such path to a better future. Is this hard to understand? Let's pretend that in front of you there are two strange boxes. In other words, you have two clear choices. You open the red box or the blue box. A lot of things would be uncertain even within that choice, wouldn't they? You don't have the option of opening neither. Your choice boils down to the natural impulse of opening the box that holds a better result for you. Then, after examining the shapes and features of each, pondering a great many of things, you have to pick either the red or the blue. If this is you, which box do you open? Well, obviously, red is evil, so the blue box. Red or blue? If you were to go by their traditional meanings, then red would be a dangerous, threatening color. However, that doesn't automatically mean that it would be calm, relaxing inside the blue box either. In fact, it might even be that colors are a trap, make you wary of the red box and have you open the blue. Yeah. A trap? Could be the contents of the box aren't a reward, but rather a penalty? See, now you're at a loss. So conflicted over the choice between the red and the blue that you've started wishing that there was an option to open neither and just leave. But there isn't. You have to open either the red box or the blue box. Oh, I forgot to say this, but if you choose one box, the other will disappear. So you'll never know the contents of the box you don't open. I'll just put that rule at the end there for you. Now, why don't you choose the red box or the blue box? It's alright, you won't lose anything by picking either one. Come on now. No way! No way! I can actually choose? Dude, no way! Hold on. Quick save. Let's freaking go! Well, I obviously want to open the blue box because it's safe, but the red box could be a trap. And I prefer a red over a blue. So, I will choose the red box, actually. How ludicrous, right? Crazy. Have you thought about it? In the end, you choose this color, didn't you? As soon as you chose, the other box disappeared. So you can give up on the contents of that one, okay? That's the rule. Now open up the box you chose. Inside the box there was a piece of caramel. Now you're a little disappointed. Well, that's only natural. No matter how you look at it, it looks like you drew the dud. What do you mean dud? Caramel's cool. Correct box might have had a bar of chocolate in it for all you know. No, in fact, something incredible like a pair of tickets to Hawaii might have been in there. And even if you wanted to verify that, the other box already disappeared. There's no way you can check it now. Are you sure? Are you sure? If you think about it from an optimistic point of view, just maybe the other box was empty and this box was the winner. And being satisfied, or perhaps not, with such a cheap prize, you pop it in your mouth and start chewing happily. So, what do you think in the end? You were given a second chance when you try to open the other box? But unfortunately, the chance to choose between the red box or the blue box has come and gone, never to be seen again. The chance to change your selection will never come. Lies. Actually, lies. Don't your parents often say every choice you make in life only happens once, so choose carefully? See? Choices aren't that great after all. Aren't you a little disillusioned now? That's a lie. I could go back. I could go back. You can't freaking... We're doing this. Load. Where's my... What? What? Where'd my quick load? Let's try to go back anyway. What's in the box? Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on. Okay. And we can choose again. Haha. The game. I thought you'd be smarter than this, honestly. I thought you would be a lot smarter than this. Have you thought about it? A stick of chewing gum! Ah, that's pretty good. Wait. That's right. The contents of the red box and the blue box are a piece of caramel and a stick of chewing gum. It knows. Okay, it's smarter than I thought. It knows. I thought you made the wrong choice before, but now seeing them together like this, you can't really say that either choice was the wrong one. Well, I guess everybody has their personal preferences. I prefer caramel to gum, for example. Definitely thinking of choosing to open the box again based on that preference. The clear choices you wanted were basically this. The selfish desire to open up both boxes and compare the contents, and then pick the one that most suited to you. You're right, you're right. But you see, reality is the same as this game. You pick one, and the one you didn't choose disappears. So, there's no way you could check the result. If at that time, if you had done this, or perhaps if you had done that, then it wouldn't be hard to imagine that you could be happier, or perhaps less happy than you are right now. In the end, you only have the pleasure of approving of, or being disappointed by the choice that you did make. But that's fine. After all, didn't you enjoy the thrill of making the choice? If, like now, you knew the contents of both boxes, then the choice between the red box and the blue box would have just been a waste of time. Instead of this boring game about boxes, you could be looking at the quickly changing evening of summer sky, listening to a distant sound of thunder, pondering if it's going to rain or not. That would be much more fun. Wow. Wow. What does that mean, though? Choices? And the absence of them? That's what it's about, right? Glint in the demon's eye. Yes. So the wake will be from 6 p.m. tomorrow, and the service will be the day after from noon until 1. The venue will be Okinomiya Ceremony Hall. I see. Deputy Mayor Izukawa's grandson's funeral we were talking about. We have to pay our respects. Mion, I'll be going my steed. Okay, got it. Should I wear mourning clothes? How much should I bring for the funeral offering? You can go in your school uniform. Make sure you button it up properly. The money, 100,000 yen. They've done a lot for us. Mion quietly whistled in awe at the exorbitant amount of money her grandmother was offering. Izukawa's son's been a prudent person ever since his days as head of the Okinomiya Municipal Office. Even if those government types paid me a visit, they'd always stay outside. Whenever I offered Izukawa a cup of tea, come inside and carefully listen to what I have to say. He always lent a proper ear of what people had to say. Others should learn from a person like him. The two guests made a show of nodding, making it clear that they were paying attention as Odio reminisced. The sight of them trying not to get on Odio's bad side was humorous enough to elicit laughter from Mion occasionally. How young was Deputy Mayor Izukawa's grandson when he died? 11 years old, apparently. Odio closed her eyes and shook her head lightly, lamenting the loss of such a young life. If I recall correctly, he said he only had one grandchild. How sad. There's nothing worse for a parent than outliving their offspring. You're really nice to other people, Granny. If Shion or I died, would you be this sad? Oh my god. Don't be stupid. Saying something like that is bad luck. Having got the reaction she expected, Mion cackled. The two guests, unsure if they were supposed to laugh along, said forced awkward smiles. We'll take our leave for today then. We'll be by tomorrow evening at 5 to pick you up. Till then, please excuse us. After bowing their heads repeatedly, the guests left by the front door. Mion saw them off, waving her little hand goodbye. They're gone. Must be rough for them to pay you a courtesy visit, Granny. It would have been fine if they just broke the news over the phone. Well, it was true that Orio Sonozaki was a central person for both her relatives and the residents of the Himatsubushi village as a whole. The voting bloc, they numbered in the several hundred thousands. Nah, 100,000, several thousand. It was hard to imagine the mayor would try to pander to her. Unlike Mion, however, Orio was looking up longingly at the sky from the veranda. What's the matter? Are you going senile? Oh my god. I just thought that no matter whose grandchild it was, I feel sorry for them. Saying that, she let out a deep sigh. Mion was let down, as normally her grandmother would have scolded her for her attitude. Mion, you know, that minister's grandson? How long has it been since he was adopted? 4 days, maybe? Odio let out another deep sigh. Maybe the grandchild of our bitter enemy, but I still feel sorry for him. Really? That's enough of a warning. We should bring this to an end soon. Playful expression drained from Mion's face, leaving behind a stern one. Then, as if to ascertain Ordio's will, looked into her eyes. Ordio, expressing her intention with only those eyes, looked back into Mion's. I want some tea. Could you call for some? Some of that chocolate, too. Mion gave a small nod and turned around. Shimiko-san, are you there? Grandma wants some tea. Could you prepare some? Far away, a voice responded in the affirmative. Mion, after confirming she'd been heard, picked up the phone and began dialing. Hello? This is Mion. Yeah. Is my father there? Wow. Wow. Well, that's it for now. Save again. Oh, no, I said whatever, it's fine. That's it for today, lads. Hopefully we'll finish this in a month or two. Thank you guys for watching and listening. See you guys later. Have a good day or night, wherever you are. And bye-bye.